You are about to enter a zone like no other. A zone which is uncensored and unfiltered. Starring Noel Glynn with Cheryl Glynn. Also starring Teddy the Terrier. You are watching the official Tardis zone. Prepare yourselves. This will be a trip of a lifetime.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Tardis Zone Live. That is an intro by Bad Wolf 66, who joins us tonight on the panel. How are you, Bad Wolf 66?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm not doing too bad. And we actually have Dan from the Space Book as well, but we'll have another two guests coming on pretty shortly. But how are you, Dan?
Evening all. I'm okay, thank you. How about you?
I'm not too bad. I am not too bad. So as you can see underneath there, there's some news scrolling underneath the screen there for all you guys. So everybody in the chat there can see it now. So I'm going to be asking you what you all think of these latest rumors. Also, we're going to talk about Jodie Whittaker, obviously, because she is going around telling everybody that she's staying. So we will have to address that. And of course, Dan, we have you on. So we'll talk about and discuss the ratings these last few weeks and where do we go from here. As I said, we will have Blue Bonnet and her husband at some time during the stream. But guys, I mean, Captain Jack is the latest rumor. Now, I've been sitting on this news along with others.
Okay.
So we've known about this a long time. Now, I've mentioned Captain Jack a few times on this channel, and I have been dropping little hints that says I wouldn't be surprised if they bring Captain Jack back. Well, the reason why I was saying that is because I knew all along that this was a plan. Now, what confirms this is someone on Facebook has confirmed this, apparently. Someone was at an airport, and they were filming at that airport, and the Daleks that we had seen on the bridge, apparently, were at the airport, and John Barrowman himself was actually there. Now, he was talking, they were obviously on a break, but he was talking to the production crew and stuff like that, is what we have been told. But as I said, we have been sitting on this. So the fact that someone has actually come out, a fan has actually come out, verified this, looks like it's true. Now, here's the thing: whether he's back for Series 12 or not, or he's just back for this special, is the question. We have to try. Well, we'll ask and we'll try to get the answer, I suppose. But guys, I'll ask you in the panel what you think. But anybody in the live chat there, let me know what you actually think of Captain Jack's return. Are you happy about it? Are you disappointed about it? Or do you think this is another attempt by Chris Chibnall to try reel in fans that have walked away from Series 12, which we have seen? So, Dan, we haven't had you on for a while, so we'll start with you. What do you think, mate, of Captain Jack's rumoured return? And we do have to say that even though we have been sitting on this information, it's still only, it's from sources. So until it's actually officially confirmed, it's still a rumour. But what do you think if he does come back?
This is, believe it or not, all news to me. I haven't heard a single whisper of this at all until about half an hour ago.
Wow.
Literally until half an hour ago, where I don't know where it's all come from. It may have come from yourself promoting your show tonight. I don't know. But yeah, people are starting to talk about it now. I think with that trailer the BBC have been running saying that, something is coming and the odd little quote saying, you will never believe who's coming back next or who's going to turn up next. Right. Where shall I start? Yeah, this trailer. I've noticed this trailer been running all week for the rest of the season. Now, the BBC don't normally do that. It's usually week by week by week by week. I think this is an acknowledgement that those ratings are positively tumbling down. They're desperate to get people back. They're quite happy to sort of... I think they'll let cats out of the bag now as soon as they possibly can to try and coax people back, which, I suppose fair play. I'd probably do that if I was them as well. The general question about Captain Jack, as I say, I'm just responding to this now. First instinct is, right, Captain Jack, John Barrowman, both of them are incredibly popular. And my first instinct about it is how pleased his fan base are going to be about this. People have been chomping at the bit for John Barrowman to be back as Captain Jack for years. John Barrowman's been talking up for years too, come to think of it, but people really want to see this character again, and I do see why. So if it makes them happy, I'm very, very happy for them. Myself, I'm a mid-tier Captain Jack fan. I've got a lot of time for John Barrowman. He's been very, very good to the show. It's been good to him. He's been good to the show. He's been very loyal and very supportive of Doctor Who fans, certainly. I can't help but feel a little bit of cynicism because it's been a long time. And why now? Why particularly now? I've always felt that his character may be kind of done, bar the odd cursory appearance at maybe a Five Doctors style celebration episode. I don't really know what's to be gained from bringing this character back, apart from that superficial eyes on screen, look who we brought out the toy box this time. Doctor Who, I don't know, Doctor Who, it's not rocket science, is it? Part of its appeal is in moments like that, but I think that this era has gone a little too far for stuff like this to make too much of a difference with the general audience, particularly when they can already see John Barrowman on the other side, dancing on ice.
Yeah, I mean, when I heard about this, because it was around the time of the Torchwood speculation, and the reason why I knew a Torchwood movie wasn't going to happen was because I was told it wasn't going to happen because John Barrowman, according to the sources that we had, was actually going to be appearing in Doctor Who. Now, when we heard about this special, we were actually delighted because it kind of confirmed what we were saying. Now that we find out that the actual special is there in reserve just in case this era goes to crap, suggests that this is probably something BBC didn't want to be leaked out, because now obviously we've heard Jodie Whittaker has gone around telling everybody she's actually staying. So they wouldn't, let's be honest, they wouldn't want this to get out, because if he's only in the special, they would abandon that special, because obviously they'd continue on. This special was only in reserve if things hit the fan, basically. If the ratings went down so low and they had to make a decision. Of course, she is gone around in interviews now telling people that she's staying for Series 13. Now, technically, if she did leave in that special, that would be technically, a new year. So that would be technically her third year. So she's not lying, because apparently this special, and then she was to appear in the first episode of Series 13, and then she would regenerate. Now, whether that happens or not now, we don't know. But, I mean, bringing Captain Jack back, I'm going to put it up there. It's going to scroll there now, you will see it. Is Captain Jack a ploy to win fans? Because I think it is. I think
yes, it is, quite clearly.
I should have put win fans back, actually. Hold on, because that does not make any sense. But we're right.
Well, you think about it. What story could they possibly be telling? I like this character, and I would be. He hasn't played it on screen now for 9 years. Yeah, now, I like this character. I like this actor. But apart from that superficial, it's Captain Jack. What is it? What possibly new can it bring to the continuing thread of any story in Doctor Who to move forward from now, that a freshly created and properly crafted and well cast character couldn't do just as well? It's in a sense, what, on the other hand, what is the point in having this 56, 57 year-old show with all that legacy, if you're not going to pull people and elements out of it, you know, I'm not going to be too churlish about this. And I said, I know people are going to be happy. I'm partly happy, but make no mistake about it. This is an act of desperation with a small d. And it's not going to really amount to a hill of beans as to whether the season itself will be more worth your time for 50 minutes every Sunday for the next 6 or 7 weeks, however long it's going to be.
Yeah, we've got another 6 weeks of this. No, 5. No, this is the 5th episode now we're coming up to. So we got 10 episodes, isn't it? So we'll have 5 weeks after this week. I
mean, how do you feel about it, Noel? You know, you
well, I'm a Captain Jack fan. I'm a Torchwood fan. So, but I can see right through this, to be quite honest with you.
I'm rewatching series 1 at the moment of Torchwood and really enjoying it.
I mean, you don't bring back Captain Jack, you don't bring back the Master, you don't bring back the Daleks, you don't bring back the Cybermen if you're not trying to win fans back.
No.
I'm sorry, but you don't. You don't do it all in one season.
Well, the Cybermen are a concept, really. You know, they haven't got a personality, they haven't got that identifiable figure. Captain Jack is an actual character, a focus of all that attention. Characters come with backstory, and they come with, good God, I mean, the actors certainly come with a pay expectation. And, of course, there's the expectation that the audience are going to bring. Say if they do bring people back, people's expectations are going to go quite a lot higher. So it's a bit of a gambit, one could say. Whereas with something like the Cybermen, you can sort of mold and shape that concept to tell whatever kind of usually horror sci-fi story that you need to. But with Jack, of course, you can't change his face the way that you can the Master. You can. The Master is at least malleable in a way that a character like Captain, you can change the way he looks, change his motivation, change him into a her, you know, to do whatever for whatever reason. But yeah, he's a bit more clay-like, whereas Captain Jack, obviously, Captain Jack is John Barrowman and vice versa. They've got to deliver. They've got to be sure that they've got a story worth telling to be wheeling him out.
Yeah, it's what I'm like you. I'm a bit,
cynical,
cynical about what they're doing. Bad Wolf. I mean, as Dan has quite rightly pointed out, there will be some fans that will be jumping for joy to see Captain Jack return if rumours are to be true. Now, as I said, I have been sitting on this for months, and the fact that it's breaking now would make and lead me to believe that there is actually something in this, because let's be honest, the sources have been pretty spot on this year when it's been Doctor Who, actually, considering that Chris Chibnall apparently is one for keeping a tight ship. There are a lot of leaks as well. What do you think of the Captain Jack news yourself?
I'm not sure what to think of it. I mean, it could just be coincidence that he was there at filming, but you never know. Chibnall's got more secrets than North Korea, so let's see. I mean, at first when I saw Captain Jack, I wasn't sure what to think of him. I thought he'd only be like a one-story character, but when he came along, he added a new dynamic to the Tardis team, and that was nice.
Yeah.
I mean, you had Mickey and Captain Jack trying to roast each other. That was funny. And of course, when he was taking on the Daleks, that was good. I mean, he is a better character than River Song, I'd say.
Yeah.
That might be heresy to some people. But
No,
I'd
I
have
actually
him
I
back.
prefer him over River any day of the week, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, because Moffat with River Song, he was trying to get her back with any old excuse. Even like on was it Day of the Doctor, Night of the Doctor? What was the other one? Time of the Doctor, that was it, with the Great Intelligence.
Yeah.
She was just sort of there to help the plot along.
Yeah, I
mean,
worry about how they're going to use Jack in this. You know what I mean? Because if you look at who they've had in it so far. He hasn't been very good with supporting characters, Chibnall. I mean, you get a guy like Stephen Fry in, and you give him literally 5 minutes, not less than 5 minutes on the screen. Captain Jack is an important character. I would love him to tap into the whole Face of Bow story thread, but the problem with Chibnall is I don't think he would be able to execute it well. We'll talk about that now in a minute, actually, Dan, because I want to ask you about that, because that will be interesting. But what I want to do is what I haven't been doing for a while, but I'm going to start doing it again. I'm going to give everybody a bit of a shout out here that's in the chat right now. So we've got Jason with us, Marie, Unknown 289. We've got Daniel, welcome. We've got Crystal. We've got Leland, Stephen. Chris, one of our moderators, is here. Welcome, Chris.
Hi, Chris. Hello, Chris. I see Chris everywhere.
Yeah, I know. He does be on all the big major channels. Fair play to him. He helps out a lot. Good guy. Colin as well is here. Welcome, Colin. Super John. Talking Comics with the Gorminator is here. The Space Book, obviously you're here, Dan. We might as well give you a shout out even though you're here. Odd Bandicoot 96, welcome. Duckman 193. I'm liking some of these names.
Duckman.
Facebook user says, thanks for putting it here. It works better than YouTube sometimes. That's no problem. As I said, I do actually put the streams. We're actually simultaneously, believe it or not, Dan. We're streaming on YouTube as well, on Facebook as well, on me group on Facebook. We've got Super John, Pazadude is here as well, Nigel is here, John is here. Welcome. It's nice to see so many familiar faces. Charlotte is here as well. JG is here. Ted is crying in the background. Don't mind him. He's sucking his teddy bear. He's not in distress or anything. He just does weird crap with his teddy bear. Mart Arts is here. Shouldn't have mentioned his name now because he's crying. Derek Brady is here. I'll have to pick him up, guys. Hold on.
Derek Brady's in here.
Derek Brady's here, yeah.
Derek!
Oh,
hey.
hi, Noel and Dan. He said hi to the two of us. Yeah, because I have it on Facebook, so he's probably watching through. He is watching through Facebook because it tells me. He got all very grumpy with me, Sharon. He got grumpy with me.
Derek did for a minute. Yeah, hello, Daniel Leach. I can see you there. Good evening to you.
Here as well. Hey, Daniel. Sorry about the dog, guys, and Nigel. I don't know why he was barking at me. He started crying, and I said, "Are you all right, Teddy?" He ran over to me. I picked him up, and then he wouldn't sit on me, and then I put him down. I'm just explaining it to Sharon, by the way, guys, just in case you're wondering what's going on there. Right, and Escape Route is here as well. I want to welcome you all to the channel. Welcome to the new faces that are here as well. But Dan, just before I start doing the shout out, so I just want to kind of get to that Face of Bow story thread. And Chibnall, in my opinion, I think he would fail to execute that story thread. What do you think yourself?
I think Chibnall won't go. If Jack is back, Chibnall won't go anywhere near that. He won't. He's messed. Having said that, he has messed with a lot of Russell T Davies' stuff in the last few weeks. Yeah. But I don't think he'll go anywhere near that because it needs. I mean, I was never really sold on all that anyway. It's so tangled already. I think he'd have to be so adept at weaving in and out of Russell T Davies' sort of lore there. And even though Chris Chibnall worked on the show under RTD, even though he was the showrunner and wrote a lot of Torchwood, I don't think he'll go there. I would hope he's got his own story to tell. We know that he's not half the writer that Russell T Davies was and is. So I would imagine it's going to be a fairly superficial Captain Jack appearance if it does happen. I mean, maybe there'll be some mystery involved. Jack will know where something is, some component to something, this whole mystery box way of storytelling that we're getting so used to, passed down from J.J. Abrams and all that kind of school of thought that's really sort of prevalent in American genre content at the moment. Maybe some of that. I think some of that is filtering its way down. Anyway, I really don't know what he's going to do with this. What he's thinking. I couldn't possibly guess. I just hope that it's as isolated from Doctor Who lore that we know as possible. Yeah. I know that sounds selfish, maybe, but I am sick to the back teeth of this era. I think Chris Chibnall is running the show into the ground. The guy he's nothing more than a hack. I think he's been exposed now well and truly as a hack who got lucky a couple of times with like Broadchurch and various other things. And he shouldn't even be messing with other people's characters as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
And we've got 5 or 6 weeks of, and it really is a case of, all this secrecy that is employed since he's been on the show, Chris Chibnall. I really it's starting to work against him, because now when a new episode is rolling around, I don't know about either of you two, how you feel about it. I'm starting to kind of dread it. And the more I know that he's going to start messing and using Doctor Who icons and lore, I just dread it even more. I want this guy out of the fire exit as quick as possible. Don't touch anything. Don't speak to anybody. Just make your excuses and politely leave. That's the good thing about Series 11. Series 11 was shit. There's no, there's no way around it now. But at least it was completely isolated. It was different. You can pretend it doesn't exist. It doesn't affect anything before, and I was hoping it wouldn't affect anything, particularly afterwards. It appears not, and he's going to turn over the whole apple cart if this is to be believed.
Just a few more shout outs there. We've got Marty, Peter D, and Lee Anthony Davis has also joined the chat. Welcome, guys. Jerry Paul Brady as well. For anybody wanting to know what the news is on Jack, it's actually scrolling on the bottom of the screen there. But just to let you know, for anybody that wants me to say it again, Captain Jack apparently is rumored to be returning to Doctor Who. Now, I have been sitting on this information because remember I kept saying to you guys, the Master is not the only returning character, and I kept saying it to you and kept saying it to you. Been sitting on this for ages, but apparently it's being leaked. Do you know what? Do you know what annoys me actually? I've stayed loyal to my sources, right? Yeah. When I've been asked to keep something quiet, I've kept something quiet. Do you know what annoys me? Is that other people are dealing with the same stuff as well, right? They get source information and they're told to keep quiet. And what do? Because they want to make a name for themselves, they go and leak the bleeding information, right? There's plenty of times I could have leaked information these past couple of months and I decided not a chance.
Well, you'd have been called names. You'd have been called all the usual names that people call you. You would have had it all fired at you. And, when there's only so much of that anybody can realistically take. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, look, at the end of the day, whether Captain Jack returns or not, it's just, for me, it's another ploy to try win fans over that have disillusioned themselves. And I agree with you, Dan. Even though people complained about Series 11, it was its own thing. It was different to anything that came before. So, it didn't really rope in any old villains or old characters. Right, we did get the Dalek in Resolution. But other than that, Series 11 shied away from the rest of them. Now for Series 12, it's like, do you know what it is? Chris Chibnall, right? I say this is what happened. Chris Chibnall wrote Series 11, right? And he's writers, and he thought he wrote a masterpiece, right? And then it aired, and then he didn't expect the backlash that it got, right? So, and then BBC are looking at this and go, oh, they don't actually like it. So what can we do now? Because we're in a bit of a rut here, right? So then Chris Chibnall says, oh, it's grand. We'll just bring back the Daleks, the Cybermen, bring back the Master. We'll even, while we're at it, we'll even ignore canon just to do it. and that'll win. France be fine. They'll come back. It'll be grand. And guess what's happened? None of that's happened. The ratings have still gone down. Now, everybody will be in agreement on this panel that Series 12 is actually an improvement on Series 11. The problem is that all the damage was done in Series 11, and fans just don't forgive what happened last year with all the attacks on Peter Capaldi, the attacks on Jodie Whittaker's predecessors, you know, the attack on fans, the media trying to cancel John Pertwee. All this adds up. Yeah. All of this adds up, like, and they think
it carries on. It's still, they haven't learned anything. No, that this is carrying on right now. I saw something, I couldn't believe it. I only saw this about half an hour ago. Jodie Whittaker speaking to Entertainment Weekly. She says, "We know that we worked really hard for Doctor Who to be the best it can be in this moment, but once it's out in the ether, how people feel in a way is kind of irrelevant."
Yeah, no, she's made a few comments like that lately, actually, as well.
Every time she opens her mouth, it's a massive howler. This woman is a colossal liability to this show. She's just shame on the fan base. I'm not saying, I said this on the podcast the other week, I don't expect this woman to go away and watch dozens and dozens of DVDs.
Exactly.
But at least be gemmed up in some way about how this show actually works, what this character really means, what it takes to get inside the role, and where it connects with the audience and why. She's been fed Chris Chibnall in one ear, just his version of this over and over and over again, and this is what we've got. I mean, I don't know. I think just Stephen Moffat really understood Stephen Moffat understands how popular television works. He understands how Doctor Who fans think. I think he gets generally what they need, the length and breadth of the audience. He certainly doesn't believe in going to one particular aisle as regards politics. And you know, his take on the character is much more in line with a classic sensibility, rather than a tool for his own personal politics. Somebody said this to me the other day. All that time we had a Scotsman playing the part and writing his lines. Did they ever mention Scottish independence? Not once.
Exactly.
Not once.
Exactly.
They're different. I'm so sick of this era. I am so sick of this woman putting her foot in it every other day, for crying out loud. I'm out. I'm done with it.
A couple of weeks back that Doctor Who is not for all. Right, that's fine. We get that. It actually is true. You are actually spot on. The problem is that you've aimed your era at people that aren't traditionally Doctor Who fans. You know, I mean, they've actually just like forgotten the actual fans that actually have kept this show going for the 50 odd years that it's been going for. Without those fans, these J-bots would have no show. And this is why I always go down hard on them, because they don't show our side of the fandom respect, but neither do the people who are writing Doctor who are producing Doctor Who, and even those in the Doctor Who magazine, who I won't mention names, but you all know who I'm talking about. They're just nasty, vile people who go after this fandom for no other reason but they don't like this era. And whether it's Jodie Whittaker, the writing, Chris Chibnall, it doesn't matter what you say. They just will go after it. And it's not even, and I'm sorry to say this, and people will criticize me for saying this, but how dare them? It's not their show, it's our show. And I think they need to realize that it's our show. BBC need to be pandering to us. We're the ones that kept the show going. Even people before me, before I was born, that were watching Doctor Who, kept this show going. Right? So how dare these new fans? I'm not saying all of them, because there's a lot of them that are actually nice people. There's a small majority of them. But that small majority, how dare you? This isn't your show. It's our show. You wouldn't have a show to be actually commenting on. You wouldn't be praising Jodie Whittaker if it wasn't for us.
So they've not stuck around, Noel. They're going. They're going. They've changed the show. They've got the show sort of changed into aversion to sort of to court them and to suit them and to line up with their politics. And now it's sort of job done. It's like, oh, cheers, thank you, off, and they're gone. They're not watching it anymore.
Yeah. I mean, Bad Wolf, where do you? I mean, like, it just, the woman just needs, I don't know, if you could give her one bit of advice, what would you be saying to her when she's gone to these interviews? Because I know if it was me, I'd be like, listen, no matter what your personal ideology is, right? Just talk about Doctor Who. Just talk about the stories and talk about why you enjoy playing this role, right? Don't be talking about how it's a stepping stone, this, that, and the other. To see, this is what I can see when I see Jodie Bad Wolf, right? I can see a person that's in a job and treats it as a job, doesn't have the passion for it. Now, I mean, if you don't have the passion for it, right, for starters, I mean, look at Matt Smith. He didn't know anything about Doctor Who, but he went back. We all know he went back and he did the research. He became a fan, and he's a fan to this day still, right? And he's very protective of Doctor Who. And I've noticed as well, David Tennant, they're all very protective of Doctor Who, right? This woman, to be honest with you, is not protective of Doctor Who, because if she was, she'd step down. But I mean, what do you think Jodie Whittaker's biggest problem is, Bad Wolf? And then Dan, I'll ask you as well. But Bad Wolf, what do you think Jodie Whittaker's biggest problem is right now with this fandom? What can she do to win a fan like me over, or is it too late?
Well, I think it's a bit late now. She's already tainted her image. I mean, she's an actor. She should be acting. She's not a politician. Nobody elected her but Chibnall into the role. I mean, did she even what do they call it? Audition for the role? I don't think she did.
Well, that's what they're saying, but we doubt it. We doubt it very much. Because
it was a formality. It was a formality, Bad Wolf.
Yeah, she's saying to the fans, like it or lump it, I don't care what you think. But if I ever did meet her, I'd say to her, stop. Let's see, stop act. Bleh. You're paid to act. You're not and that's it. You're paid to act. Your opinions don't matter, because she doesn't live in the real world.
Yeah,
she lives in this little bubble universe in some big mansion, probably. While other people in the UK.
Have a flat. I'll have to pick up for her there now. She does have a London flat, because she did a video. I'll just to fill you in on something. She did a little video. It was kids ask her a load of questions, but it was her answer and the way she came across in her answer, which I thought was very arrogant. But she was basically asked how many bathrooms she has, right? And she says, "Well, I want to dispel this this myth or this thing that people think I live in a big home. I live in a small dinky flat in London with one bathroom." And I was saying, there's no small dinky flats in London where you live. Look, you live in a top of the range flat that's probably, your whole sitting room is probably as big as my whole apartment. So, like, you know, don't be. I just hate when she tries to say things like that to make herself to be ordinary. But you are right. I think actors and actresses, especially that come out with all these political speeches, should keep their mouth shut. Ricky Gervais was actually right. You're there to act, you're there to entertain, you're not there to preach to us. I just want to read this before I let you, because I've gotten a super chat here by Lisa here. It's a $7.99 Australian dollars. I think people may be turning over to Dancing on Ice to see John Barrowman. Well, we watched him on I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, and he was brilliant. I thought he was actually going to win it, but he did his ankle in. And I think that kind of ruined his chances of winning it. But John Barrowman was actually one of my favourites to win. I was egging him on. So I'm a huge John Barrowman fan. I just don't want him in this era, because I don't think his character will be done justice. And this is the biggest problem I have with Chibnall. He doesn't do these like, we've already had the Dalek, right? He didn't do the Dalek any justice, right? We to get to Jadoon, I don't really care about the Jadoon, to be honest with you, right? But we've got Sea Devils, we've got Cybermen, and we're rumoured to be getting the Daleks back. We've already gotten the Master back now. Sasha is absolutely brilliant as the Master. It's the only bright spark, actually, of this whole era so far, is actually Sasha. Out of the two series, Sasha's casting as the Master is probably the thing that has gotten the fans most excited, actually. Bad Wolf, I mean, back to Jodie, and then I'll ask you your opinions on Sasha, actually. I mean, she doesn't do herself any favours, but I'm going to ask you, can Jodie Whittaker, I'm going to put that question up on the screen now, guys, and let me know what you think in the chat. Can Jodie Whittaker win this fandom around? If she's staying for another year, which we will get into, so apparently Jodie Whittaker, as I've been saying on this channel, she's been going around lately telling people that she's staying for Series 13. I'm still sticking my neck out there and thinking she is going to leave. These numbers just don't add up for me to justify her staying anyway. Can Jodie Whittaker, Bad Wolf, win over this fandom?
Well, if she's sticking to her current politics, then no. She's just digging a hole deeper and deeper. She just has to keep her mouth shut, promote the show, and act better. Put some real effort into it with a decent script. People might actually enjoy her era, but it's Chibnall too. It's polar opposites, kind of. I mean, Chibnall is more of a drama writer, and there's a lot of police stuff in his era. I don't know if anyone's noticed. I think that might be referenced in that series, Broadchurch, but in a very slight manner.
Yeah, as someone said in the chat, which I do agree with, I think she will be in one episode of Series 13 and she'll be leaving, which means she's technically right when she's saying she's going to be in Series 13. And that's the way I think they're going to do it. I actually think we're going to get a regeneration at the end of episode 1 of Series 13, and I think that's how they're going to do it. That's what I personally think anyway. Guys, actually, I'll ask you that. Do you think that is a probability? Do you think BBC might actually do that? Dan?
Regenerator when? Sorry, at the
start of Series 13.
No, not a chance. Too much bad publicity. They can't back down from this now. She'll either be in for the whole season or not at all. Chris Chibnall, I don't think he'd expect her to do that either. She'd be associated with the part for all that extra time without getting the extended period in the role probably still on a Sunday. Like, let's be honest, they won't seem to learn that lesson either. No, I'm afraid we're stuck with that for the next 18 months to 2 years. Everybody, this is it. This is our on-screen Doctor for at least the next 2 years. That's my opinion.
Lisa, thanks again for that super chat. See, you wrote in the chat, and I'll read it out because you gave us a super chat there. It says, Jodie Whittaker can totally turn the show around by leaving and taking Chibnall. I think we are all 100% in agreement with that statement right there.
No, Chibnall is still the main problem with this.
Yes,
it is him.
Yes,
it is him. You know, you're talking just about Jodie talking to those little kids.
Yeah.
This woman, when you see her doing things like that, she's got a charm about her. She's got energy about her. There is something there, but there seems to be ideas, thoughts whispering in her ear, ideas that have been put in her head that this role is nothing more than, I was going to say a weapon. Now, she doesn't see it that way, but she certainly sees it as a tool. And as regards like a week-to-week job, she's going, she's saying the lines, she's playing a part, and then at the end of the week she's just picking up her paycheck and she goes and she buys herself something nice and repeat. I don't think she thinks about it in any greater depth than that. But she's going to have to live with this role for the next 10, 20, 30, maybe 40 years. This is only the beginning, and this is nowhere near enough. And you know what Bad Wolf was saying. I know what he means, but I think that Jodie, one of the reasons why it's not washing with us after, we're a series and a half in now. At this point in David Tennant's era, he was giving us stuff like Human Nature, everybody. Just let that sink in, right? But here we are, and Jodie Whittaker still can't do it. And it's partly down to the material, but it is partly down to the fact that she's been completely miscast in this role. And she's working. The fact is that she is working hard, so hard, in fact, that when you see her acting, she's acting. You can see the gears changing and crunching. You can see her trying it again every time, and it's just not working. And if this was you or I in a job, in a role that we weren't suited for, you'd have had the tap on the shoulder from the boss, wouldn't you? Quiet word in the office is your P45 son on your bike. But no, this has got all those political connotations. They can't do that. They can't do that to her. But what I don't understand, that's one thing. Okay, this is the road that they're choosing to take Doctor Who down. But what I don't understand is why they're not going to one side, working with these writers, looking and accepting that the performance does not work, and tailoring these scripts to be in some way facilitate this actress that can meet her on her level and give her material that she can actually work with. And that's not happening. That's not happening either. So it's making the agony, it's making this excruciating on a week-to-week basis. And there's no let-up. 2 calendar years from now, we'll still be in this situation. The only mercy is that there'll probably only be about another 16 episodes of it. But spread out over 2 years, good God, it's going to be a long 2 years. And you know what? I'm not convinced there will be a Series 14. I don't care what deal they've got going on with China. I don't think that's necessarily about... It seems to be technicalities. I think this could well drive the series into the wall. There's people out there saying that it clearly needs to be put out of its misery. And to be honest, if you came back to this show after a couple of years away and saw anything that's been on in the last 4 or 5 weeks, could you argue that they weren't right?
Yeah, true. Yeah. I'm just lost for words these last couple of weeks. I just never, I knew it'd be bad, right? And I think we all envisioned this era being bad, but I never envisioned it being this bad. I thought Chibnall's not the greatest writer, but we'll get 1 or 2 decent stories, and but we for me personally, we haven't even gotten even though Spyfall is okay an episode. If it was in an RTD or a Moffat era or even the classic era, it would be considered a poor episode. So I mean,
can I ask Bad Wolf, at what era did you come to the show in, mate?
Let me see. Well, the earliest memory I have of Doctor Who is the Peter Cushing movie, and that was in the early 90s. It must have been about 3 or 4 at the time.
Wow.
And then it wasn't until a few years later, my dad had got cable, and then I noticed they were showing Destiny of the Daleks on UK Gold, and that's how I got into the show.
Here we go. Another one been shown the way by his dad. Because I wondered if you were a child of the Russell T Davies era, and to see all this stuff, all these monsters, and all this mythology being messed with. How does it make you feel?
Well, I was 14 when the new series came out, so
you weren't a kid, but you were still a minor.
I was still youngish, yeah. I mean, it was nice to see the show back and with decent effects. I mean, I enjoyed the Russell T Davies era.
Yes,
After that, it started to go downhill. Even in the Moffat era, I wasn't really a fan. I did enjoy Peter Capaldi's run, though. That was nice.
Were you initially excited when they announced Chris Chibnall was taking over?
A little bit. I mean,
so was
I know we'd get rid of that fairy tale rubbish which Moffat was
Yeah.
down our throats.
I did like all that, but he had pretty much done it to death. Because, and when I loved Chris Chibnall's Broadchurch, well, Series 1 I loved. And so I was excited too, as much as I was. I thought that this man was a safe pair of hands. How wrong was I?
Yeah, Same here. That's what I mean. Early on, I thought, okay, he's not the best writer, but it is a safe pair of hands. We might actually, because I agree with Bad Wolf, I don't like all that fairy tale crap.
No, Clint. You learn something new every day.
There you go. I'm not in. No, Doctor Who's supposed to be sci-fi. It's not supposed to be fairy tale. People die.
See, I view the show as a fantasy show that plays with science fiction, that plays with action adventure. So I view it as a fantasy show, sort of first and foremost.
Right.
But I do see, science fiction isn't too far behind. I can see totally what you mean, and yeah.
Except in Chibnall's era, we don't get any sci-fi.
Very little. Yeah, very little.
Yeah, very little. Or nothing of substance anyway. Well, here's a question, right? Because we might as well move on the topic a little bit, because I am actually sick and tired of talking about Jodie Whittaker. But let's talk about one of our co-stars, Tosin Cole.
Yeah.
Is he leaving Doctor Who? Because he's obviously going to be... I'll actually get it up now. Hold on.
Yeah.
Tosin Cole is going to be starring in a new show.
Oh.
So... people are speculating because, filming schedules and stuff. So there we go. I'll screen share that now. Hold on. We'll get it up. It's a Radio Times article. So there'll be plenty of ads on this that I have to delete because they're, they just can't give you a news article without any ads popping up.
Yeah. All about money these days, isn't it?
Yeah. There we go. Just switch that advertising off. Now let's see if I've actually screen shared it yet. No.
Just ship him and Ryan off, and then we'll keep Graham for the next series.
Right. So hopefully now you should see it up on your screen. Oh no, I haven't shared it. Okay. Oh, there we go. Right.
Radio Times.
So it says, if I let me scroll up, so Doctor Who's Tosin Cole has been cast in a big new US TV series, but does this mean he's leaving the TARDIS? Cole will star opposite Courtney B. Vance in a courtroom drama, 64th Street. There he is. After two series. Oh, yeah. See, this is what I'm talking about. Ads. It just jumps everything, right? So, after two series, in Jodie Whittaker's TARDIS, Doctor Who star Tosin Cole is set to star in a new adventure with the 27-year-old actor cast in a new US TV series called 61 Street, according to Deadline. The AMC series will star Cole in the lead role of Moses Johnson, a promising high school athlete with a bright future who is accused of murdering a police officer during a drug bust gone wrong. Jesus Christ, oh my God, how original. The typical black man kills a cop and then ends up in, whatever. Swept up in a famously corrupt Chicago criminal justice system, Moses' case is taken up by an aging public defender, Franklin Roberts, who sees this as his chance to finally challenge the institutional racism at the heart of the judicial system. Who gives a crap? So it's typical bloody crap. They just, that role, let's be honest, wouldn't work with a white guy. They just have to do it's ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Well, that sounds as dull as dishwater. I just feel like I've already seen that show or film.
Yeah, I think we all have. It's like they've done it as a movie about 1,500 times now at this stage. Like,
I mean, AMC make good stuff sometimes. I thought Preacher was great, and I don't know what to make of this at all. Obviously, I wish Tosin Cole well with this.
Let's speculate. Do you think because he's doing this though, it means his time on the TARDIS is up? Because that's why I wanted to bring it up, because it is interesting. Because he will be filming Doctor. If he's hanging on for Series 13, he will be filming Doctor Who as well. So people are starting to speculate, well, scheduling wise, will he be able to do it? Will he be able to fit the two in? Is he that good? Or maybe because he literally does nothing on Doctor Who anyway, it's like a holiday camp. He'll just do their job because it'll actually be a real job. You know?
Depends when filming is, I guess.
I don't know, Bad Wolf. I just don't know. But,
I mean, if he's leaving, and that's it.
Well, if he's
You can
leaving,
take
let's
Yaz
hope
with
we break
him.
the plank with him.
How many episodes did they say this show was, Noel? Was it about 8 to 10?
Oh, yeah, I think it's 10. Hold on. I'll check on my phone because it's faster. Oh, it's 10. Cheryl says it's 10.
Yeah, there's no way he's still on Doctor Who next time. Not a chance.
Yeah, well, we were talking about that on this channel. Apparently, the companions won't be on the TARDIS for Series 13. That's what we were told. And I mean, if you look at it, Bradley Walsh is filming a new show as well. Manip Gill is the only one, I think, that hasn't actually come out and said that she's doing something else, but who would hire her anyway? My table has more personality than she does.
Yeah.
So, nobody is going to hire you.
Oh yeah, Max has just said it's 10 episodes. That's a big commitment. They took a year making these 10 episodes of Doctor Who that we're watching now. It took them nearly a year. This is going to be a bigger show, a bigger stretch for Tosin Cole. And you know what? I think he'll probably rise to this. I think Tosin Cole, underneath all this, is a good actor. I think he's a naturalistic actor. I think he's a warm actor. And I expect he could do very, very well in this role. However, it does mean that he's going to be leaving Doctor Who. I'm going to say now, Tosin Cole will leave Doctor Who, and so will Bradley Walsh. At the end, at the end of that Christmas special with the Daleks.
Yeah. And we'd probably be left with the 2 planks of wood.
Yep. Yeah, I'm afraid so.
Unfortunately.
I mean, the good news is that Mandy Gill, we've seen very, 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 very briefly this season that she is capable of acting. She shed a tear convincingly in was it week 1? And, in the Tesla episode, we actually saw her acting. And so maybe with the other 2 gone, she might rise to the... Because you can see, again, with her, you can see that she's been hungry since week 3, 4 of Series 11. And she's still starving hungry now. So in a situation where it was maybe just her and Jodie Whittaker, a bit more to go around, a bit more to get those teeth into. But... they may well get shot of her too. Who knows? It's a long time in between. I don't think they're going to start filming on Series 13 until mid-autumn.
Some people have speculated September.
Yeah, well, have they? Yeah, well, that would be the very earliest that I would expect. Because they're all going to be doing other stuff, or just having a rest. Because a year to be working on one show, to be honest, is a long time. But no, Tosin Cole's gone. Bradley Walsh. If you watch it now, I mean, I'm going to plug my podcast now. I'm going to plug Type 40 on the Fandom Podcast Network, where we're talking about this every week, and we've talked at length on the newest edition, which will be out in a few days, which is about the Nikola Tesla episode. We talk at some length about Bradley Walsh's part in Doctor Who in Series 12. It's not working. It hasn't got the charm that it got last time, and we speculate as to why. But I can't see him being there next time. I genuinely can't. He's in too much demand. It's a big commitment, and really, is it doing anything for him now? I think the public are sort of over it as well. But we know they're over it. That's why half of them have gone. Maybe it'll be good for the show. I don't know. But Tosin Cole's too good for this part. He's too good for this show. I hate to say it, he is.
Yeah, but he hasn't. He showed some potential in Series 11, but he just looks very disinterested in this series.
He's brought it is because he's never given anything to do.
And you know what, Linux? It will expose Chris Chibnall and his writing team, because if he goes to America and that show ends up being a success, and we actually see how good he actually really is, well, then questions will be asked of Chibnall as well. Like, why isn't he getting the best out of these actors? It's like a football manager. Football managers get criticised, if they don't get the best out of these players that they have. The same would be said with a showrunner. If you're not getting the best out of your actor, then you shouldn't be a showrunner. Simple.
Don't get me wrong. Tosin Cole is not Anthony Hopkins. You don't expect miracles from this guy. But to get inside a role like that on a big AMC series, which would probably sounds like it's quite literate, and that he'll be working with good actors, Courtney B. Vance. This is a big production. They've obviously got a lot of faith in him. I'll tell you something, he will have auditioned for that. He will have auditioned his balls off for that. All over since he rapped on Doctor Who, he will have been auditioning for that. He's probably up against all sorts of people. This won't have been a walk in the park for him to get that role. Certainly not off the back of Ryan Sinclair on Doctor Who. So like I said, I think all we can do is wish him the best in that, and be sad for him. It's kind of wasted 2 years of his life slumming it on Chris Chibnall's Doctor Who, because he could end up really going on to bigger and better things. But then again, it wouldn't be too hard, because Ryan is a terrible part in what is a pretty fucking awful show. Let's be honest.
Yeah, it's gone. Yeah, it is, and you know what? He probably will do well in this show, and we will look out for it. We might give the 4th episode, but it just seems to be a run of the mill. Same typical thing.
It's not my kind of show. It's not my kind of TV at all.
He kills a cop, and then it turns out that he probably didn't kill him at all, and some cover up has happened. And
he killed himself. I'm going to call it now. Before they've even filmed this show, that guy killed himself.
Yeah, but that's what the show is about. He murders a cop in it. This is the whole premise of the show. He murders a cop.
It was
in our head.
entire
And I'm like, that's the premise of the show. So it's a black guy who killed a cop.
I know the premise of the show. I read it. It's also based on day-to-day things that happen in the United States a lot, where a black person gets in trouble with the cops, and it may or may not be legitimate. So I think there's a lot of criticism being heaped on the show already that no one seems to know that much about it in one news article.
Right.
Is it based on a true story? Because I suppose we shouldn't speak when we don't know where it comes from. But is it based on a news article, or is it based on a book? Because it does. For all that it sounds like we've seen it before, this kind of thing does happen, sadly, or in countries all over the world, and people do get falsely imprisoned, falsely accused, and people do get racial profiled, and it is a travesty. It is disgusting. There's no arguing about that. But you do wonder where. As all these streaming services and all these big channels, these big pay-per-view channels, as they clamour for material, adapt this and adapt that, they're getting to the point where they're not being as discerning as once they were, and some of the content is starting to feel, as Noel and Bad Wolf have both said, a little sameish. So I'll go and look this up. It's not the kind of show I'd watch in a million years. No, I've got to be honest. It's not enough spaceships for me. It's that simple. But maybe there will be some credibility to it. Maybe there will be some worth to it. Maybe it'll have something to say. I don't know. But it's not my thing.
I'll give it a go anyway. It probably sounds a bit like a Law and Order SVU kind of thing with a bit of crime and detective crap going on. I'll give it a go anyway. See what he's like, because it'd be interesting to see what he's like outside Doctor Who. To be quite honest, and it will be startling if he gives a great performance and he makes a name for himself. And I do wish him the best of luck, because I did like him last year. I could just tell and see that he doesn't give a crap this year. Maybe because of what's been going on behind the scenes would probably disillusion everybody. So
it would me.
I've been unhappy for some time. I mean, he's the one who did the Instagram leak about Jodie leaving.
Yeah. I agree with you. He has been unhappy for a while.
I think that's why he went after another show that he thought would give him the chance to show off
his acting ability.
He does have. It's not the most spectacular, but let's be honest. He's giving a crap script on a crap show, so how much can you really expect?
I actually think, personally speaking, he's a better actor than we actually believe. I actually think he is super. I think he's brilliant. And we've got another panelist now about to join us. She's a bit late, but she was having a bit of work done in our house. So she didn't want to be on when the workers were banging away and stuff, because we don't want to see some hairy man's ass or something. No. So like to introduce, here's my guest, Blue Bonnet Hoovian.
Hey.
Hey.
Hello.
How are ya?
Not too bad, not too bad. So we'll kind of fill you in. So you've probably been watching a little bit, but we'll just fill you in anyway. Captain Jack is rumored to be coming back.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Yeah, he was actually seen in an airport with the Daleks, and apparently they were filming. Now, obviously, we haven't seen that footage, so we can't obviously confirm it. But this is information that we've been sitting on, and also it's been leaked on Facebook now. So we were supposed to keep this a secret. Someone keeps leaking the information. But Captain Jack, how do you feel if he does come back? Do you think it's another ploy? Because I actually put this up.
I think it's to legitimize her era. I do. I think they want to see connections. They want to connect it, because right now, well, myself, I can speak for, no one else I can, but I think that fans don't consider her era really Doctor Who, and I think they're trying to use that as a connection. But
no,
I mean, the same thing they're doing with the monsters. Yeah, they want to make us happy, but at the same time, they kind of want to legitimize her era, and by doing that, they kind of do make it seem part of it.
No,
Because
thought of that. That's actually a valid point. I never actually thought of that myself.
because if you think about it, Chris Chibnall in series 11 didn't want anything from the old at all.
Yeah, true.
And all of a sudden now, But I mean, I could be wrong, but yeah, I think it's a bad idea.
It's all to get us to wake up and pay attention and to invest and come back. Too late.
Yeah.
Oh, it's been too late, but it's really too late now.
And obviously, we were just speaking about it there. Tosin Cole obviously has gotten a new show, so fans are speculating. Dan thinks that Tosin and Graham be gone. It's certainly looking like, because those two lads, like we've seen their posts, they're definitely active after Doctor Who. Well, while Doctor Who was on, they seem to be very active. Do you see the two of them going? I actually do see the whole lot of them actually going. I think Manip will go as well.
Well, eventually, but I think I'm almost thinking that they maybe just want it to be her and the Doctor for a bit, but who knows?
Oh Jesus! Don't go there.
Well, I'm not. I'm just saying. Think of the worst thing that you could possibly think of, and that probably would be it.
Yeah,
Chibnall. Yeah, that's how Chibnall thinks.
Yeah.
Girl power.
Girl power. That's not girl power.
No, it's not. But I mean, to his little feeble mind, that's that's how he thinks.
Yeah.
Maybe he is a girl. We don't know.
He's
a shapeshifter.
Yeah.
Blue Bonnet, you're one of the Spice Girls generation, aren't you? That was real girl power.
God.
That was real girl power, wasn't it? What do you think about Chris Chibnall's version of it?
Chris Chibnall's version of it? Yeah. He had something to do with the Spice Girls, or you're talking about Doctor Who?
No, his version of girl power. Is it convincing?
Actually, I'd rather watch the Spice World movie.
Yeah.
And Luke.
Even though back in the 90s, that Spice, when the Spice power, when the girl power was around.
Yeah, but it was different.
It wasn't in your face, though. Mm-hmm. People just did it. There wasn't people on the TV like saying blah 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 blah. They just go
right.
Right now, it's like this version. Like, they have to be on TV. They have to be writing news articles. They just. I don't know what. They're never happy about anything. They win something. They get a little leeway somewhere, and they're happy for about 2 minutes, and then they're moaning about something else. They're never going to be happy.
They don't have true girl power, because girl power is when you earn something, you work hard for it.
Exactly.
And you pay your dues, like I have in life. And nothing was ever handed to me. Things I have are because I worked hard. And they just want things handed to them and then scream about the patriarchy, which is like,
It's basically stamping your feet and saying, not fair, not fair, not fair,
mm-hmm.
not fair.
Mm-hmm. Nothing's fair. Life's not fair.
The Spice Girls took what they wanted.
Exactly. That was. I don't care for their music, but that's true girl power there, because they made it happen for themselves.
And they've got their own bus. They've got a bus.
They actually did something good.
They did. I'll give them that.
They actually did some good. They weren't going around and bashing men
No.
They were just basically saying women can be better. Women can achieve great things. I mean, look at Victoria Beckham, for example. She's probably the biggest example because she was the most talentless of the whole lot of them. She made a career out of music and then went into fashion. She wouldn't have had that, but she worked hard there. You know what I mean? It was not handed to her, but she did work hard for it. But that's these women nowadays, these radical feminists, they want everything handed to them. They want everything handed to women. And then what happens then is when they get a little something, as I said, they're still not happy. So where does it end? What do you want to...
There's a comment in the chat, which I think is quite interesting from Charlotte Shields. And she says, I mean, we've just been talking about girl power, which is me poking a little bit of fun. But she says, girl power with a doctor that relies on her sonic. Right, and she's right. I mean, the magic wands thing, it may not quite be as prevalent as last year, but it's still going on, isn't it? We're seeing very little of the thought processes of the doctor. It's still not there. It's still a very sort of superhero-y character who can now wipe your mind and do all these things. She's getting more powered as it goes along, and of course that's not real. That's not real power. That's not the strength of the character.
Screwdriver on wood. Do you remember you even said it, Cheryl? What was the episode she tried to use the screwdriver on wood? The Tesla episode on the train,
And they talked about that in the 50th. John Hurt pointed out that he had never, it was wood and...
Yeah, she tried to, I don't know, man. He's just ignoring everything he is. Same with...
He doesn't care. All he cares about is the end scene. Things like the end scene of Orphan 55 is all he cares about. That's all he puts it all into that. And then forgets the story and getting good actors to play the roles. It's all about the agenda, and that's all he focuses on. The other's just like a little casing to try to trick us to think, oh, this is the actual story. Because what he really cares about is the climate change speech preaching at the end.
To take us to that point.
Right, to keep us watching long enough, which I can't even believe I finished the episode. But to get us to that point where then we're preached at, but it just makes me angry. Like, it makes us angry. So I don't, what does he think's going to happen? Like, he thinks that's going to convince us somehow?
It's like a badly written fan fiction.
Yeah, you will be told. You will be told. That is his. And, I think maybe it's like the biggest, most elaborate, and certainly the most expensive virtue signal that I can think. And I try not to use that phrase all the time, but that's all it really is. It's all in connection. I mean, obviously you've got the inclusivity and diversity charter mandate at the BBC at the moment, but there's other pressures that are continually being brought to bear on the BBC politically all the time. And so they are overtly trying to state this and demonstrate it and show it to the general public and to those that they have to answer to, and say, look, we are doing this for the public. We are doing this. We're not entertaining them, but we are informing them of this. We are doing our bit for that. The BBC in this country, I know that this gets talked about a lot on YouTube, but we can't get this out enough to people all over the world who aren't here to see it. It is a shadow of its former self, and all of their programming is exactly the same. It's all pushing constantly.
It's the same here. It really is. I mean, we don't have a license fee, and we go by ratings, and they still try to put these social justice stories together. I mean, the only difference is that, our ratings, I guess, do matter to a certain degree. But if that was the case, how did Batwoman get a second season?
Yeah, well, it does make you wonder. I mean, what the ratings been like for that compared? Because Supergirl's ratings have been going down as well, haven't they?
Well, yeah, and from what I understand, that they really started bringing out the social justice and that. And there's very few shows now. Like, I can turn it on in 5 minutes and tell you, okay, yeah, I know where they're going with this. Turn off.
It's obvious. I haven't seen Batwoman. I haven't seen Batwoman yet. I used to love the character in print, and when I saw the trailer for this atrocity of a TV show, all the most interesting parts of that character, they seem to have left them out. They seem to think that as long as
it seems like a really cool character. That's the thing, and it's like they could do something good with it. I don't care if she's gay. I mean, if it's a cool character, I'm going to watch it. Just don't preach to me. And we're good.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, when they first sort of reinvented the character for the new, what was it for? That was for a series called 52 about 12 years ago. And she was, the reinvention of Batwoman was presented as a lesbian. Obviously, people did notice and people did talk about it, but more people were talking about the power of the storytelling behind that series. It was a weekly comic series that sort of brought in, sort of reinvented plenty of older characters in a similar way. But the people were talking about the character because she was cool, because she was well written, because she looked amazing, and because she brought something into the Batman mythology that she sort of filled a gap.
Putting Batman down, which this show seems to do that.
Yeah, she was, I wouldn't say in awe of Batman, but she supported Batman. In fact, I think the character Kate Kane is supposed to be slightly older than Bruce Wayne.
Right.
She's inspired by him, and there's a great bond of friendship between them. And in this, that entire backstory has been substituted for this, exactly as you've just been saying, all this ideology, this great big statement, one of those to pretty much every man watching. And somehow, it's got a second. See, I can only assume that it's been that expensive to build sets for. They can't strike them and bugger this off early. I don't know.
I also think it's really hypocritical to expect someone like Henry Cavill to bulk up for his roles. And I'm supposed to believe this 90-pound-year-old woman is taking on this 200-pound man?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't understand why pointing that out is such a bad thing. She should have a certain look and expected to have a certain look.
Yeah, because in the comics, Kate Kane is also a very tall. She's slim, but she's very tall, physically formidable. She's not this sort of 5'2" streak of piss.
85 pounds, 90 maybe.
Yeah. And to be honest, if they substituted that in the storytelling with maybe her ingenuity in some way,
it might work. Yeah.
But from what I understand, she just jumps up and kicks these guys in the head. They go down like a sack of spuds, if you pardon the expression, and we're supposed to just accept. I mean, I can't. I'm not going to waste my time watching that.
Right. I mean, unless you're just watching it just to have a laugh, maybe. I mean, then maybe you could. I mean, I thought about it, but I don't know if I'm really ready for that.
I don't know about you, Noel. I think we should all take a few seconds of silence just to thank Bolstrek for his enormous sacrifice in watching that every week.
I know. I don't know how he does it.
The bravest guy on YouTube.
He really is. Especially that is actually, I don't know which is worse, that or Doctor Who.
I don't intend on finding it. Have you seen it, Noel?
No, I wouldn't watch that shite. But Charles Perdens watched it and think it's better than Doctor Who. So that says it all.
Yeah, it would be too hard.
I didn't like. I tried to watch Arrow, and it doesn't do anything for me. I'm not big on superheroes.
I used to love Arrow, but I haven't seen it for a couple of years. It used to be unmissable, in fact, but I haven't seen it for a couple of years.
You like Arrow, don't you, like Sharon? She watched every episode of Arrow. Oh, she likes the Flash as well, actually, don't you?
Yeah, me too. So, what other shows are you watching at the moment, Noel?
Me, I recently watched Series 2 of Lost in Space.
Yep. Oh, I haven't seen that yet. Loved Series 1.
Yeah, Series 2 I thought was very good now, personally, but, there was more, there was less wokeness in it this time round, I thought.
But, good stuff. Even better.
But there's one common theme throughout Series 2 that kind of annoyed me. The Robinsons would get into these situations, or the economy would get into these situations where only the Robinsons could save the day, and that became a kind of a theme in Series 2 that kind of annoyed me. Like, I know they're a good family and all and stuff, but come on, you don't need to oversell it. I get it. They're dark, you don't need to have every episode where they're saving the day. But the robots in it are bleeding brilliant.
Because to me, I don't know if either of you see it this way, but to me, that is probably the only series on television at the moment, on either streaming or on a network TV here in Great Britain or in America, that's got an eye towards a similar demographic, aiming towards the entire family. I think Lost in Space is squarely going for that. The Doctor Who audience. And I think they're serving it. Well, in series 1, I know what you're saying, Noel, there was a certain amount of wokeism in that, but I think it served its audience perfectly, and it had a lot of charm, a lot of warmth. It had that danger where I can imagine kids hiding behind the sofa watching it.
Yeah.
And it just had that thing that Doctor Who seems to have lost. They even managed to gender swap a character from the original and make it perfectly. I hadn't got a problem with that at all. I thought they got the right actress in the right part. Yeah. No problem at all.
Yeah, I like the new Dr. Smith in it. And it has caused a bit of controversy from fans of the original. Now,
I can see what.
Like many people, and I say a lot of you are like me, but in my household, Lost in Space was one of those shows that was on TV, and it was always on the weekend. And we'd sit down, and my dad would actually have the dinner ready just as Lost in Space was starting. We'd sit around and we'd eat our dinner, watching Lost in Space. So I'm a fan of the original. This is a reimagining, let's be honest, of an old show. But I think it does what it says on the tin. I actually think the stories and some of the science in it is just mind-boggling, and I just love stuff like that. And I do like the way the Robinsons do figure things out, and you're kind of going on a journey with them, trying to figure this stuff out as well. But there was just too much of it in Series 2. I would have minded to see a bit more character development, even for Mr. What's his name? What's the pilot's name in a West? What's his first name? And I keep Don West.
Don. I think it was Don. It was Don in the original series.
Don in the new one. Yeah, like he's a good character. He has his chicken. Love it. But, I'd love to see more on him. I know they tried to concentrate a little bit more on Dr. Smith. So we got to see a bit more of her background, you know, the way our family used to treat her and stuff. But it's because Series 3 is going to be very interesting because it left, as usual, on a bloody cliffhanger.
Oh, no spoilers, no spoilers.
I'm saying nothing, but I'm telling you, I'm pissed off, man.
Don't say anything. I'm still not done with Series 1.
Changing the
Changing
subject slightly, I meant to ask you, does anybody know what the American ratings were for Doctor Who this week yet?
I think they were about the same, but I did see a video. I can't remember exactly the numbers, but I think they've even dropped. They might be even lower.
Been doing videos on it.
Chris, does Chris Persia know? He seems to know everything. If anybody knows, could pop it in the chat so we can see.
Yeah, I don't think anybody in America even cares about Doctor Who anymore.
Fair enough.
No, there's Bad Wolf back again.
But I wanted to talk about what Dan was saying about family shows and being able to all sit down and watch them together. I think that's really been missing, and it's actually nice about Lost in Space, because the reason why I started watching Doctor Who was for that very reason. Because all those shows are in America, you know, tend to kind of be a very violent anti-hero theme.
Yeah.
So I think that's really nice that they're kind of trying to bring that back a little bit, because we need more of that.
I agree.
We do. Talking about bringing it back, Bad Wolf's back.
Hey, Bad Wolf.
Hello.
So, Bad Wolf, have you watched Lost in Space? I know we're kind of gone off a little bit of topic here, but have you had the chance of watching Lost in Space? And before you say that, and try not to spoil that, because the two members of the panel still haven't seen the end of Series 1. Dan hasn't seen Series 2 yet, so... have you watched it?
Movie?
No, the new TV.
No, not the TV show.
No, I haven't watched it.
What other shows would you recommend, Bad Wolf? You know, when Doctor Who doesn't give you what you need from it, like now, what do you go to instead?
I don't really watch that much TV or movies these days, so I'm not sure, really.
He's too busy animating his own series.
Are you really? I will have to drop the link. Yeah. Drop us a link.
He does his own little animations, so probably doesn't. But here, actually, talking about show recommendations, I recommended this, And I'm actually annoyed because it only got one series, but it was Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah, I still haven't been able to find that anywhere.
Now, I enjoyed it. Cheryl was enjoying it. Now, I got to see all of it. Cheryl didn't get to see all of it, but she was loving it. But yeah, it actually annoyed me because halfway through, they decided that they were going to pull the plug on it. And I have to say, it had a bit of everything. It had a bit of horror. You had a bit of voodoo. You know, you had gruesome murders.
What network was that on?
It was on the DC Universe. It was on the DC Universe app.
Yeah, it was on the DC streaming, but I got it. I won't say how I got it, but I got it. Got my hands on it. And I watched it.
You naughty boy.
And I'm telling you, Dan, seriously, the first episode even, man, I've never seen that. I even said it at the time. I think it's the best comic book show that I've ever seen.
Yeah, I've seen some of it, and I thought it was outstanding. The production values and the actor. As somebody who grew up reading Alan Moore's Swamp Thing comics, I mean, I'm not sure it definitely was a family TV though. Let's be honest. It was a great show. You know, there's a lot of adult content, but
it's definitely not a kid show.
Oh, they tell me I'm an adult.
No way. This is definitely squarely aimed at the adults. It was R-rated. It is absolutely. Seriously, now, I know nothing about the comics. So some people were complaining again, they gender swapped some roles or they changed the roles. Well, see, here's the thing. I didn't know that. So for me, it didn't ruin my viewing experience. And I think it is great. And it's just pissed me off because they actually produced something great. And then they've said, we're not doing it anymore. And do you know what the reason is? It was costing too much to make it. And they wanted it more like a CW show. So they wanted shit production values, basically.
Yeah, they wanted it to be all sort of very, very teen friendly.
Yeah. Well, fuck that, man. It worked because the reason why it was so popular is because it was R-rated as knobs. Deadpool. It was so successful because it was R-rated as knobs. The same with the Joker. I finally watched the Joker movie last night. I have to say, this is a masterpiece.
It really is.
Exaggeration. I thought YouTubers were exaggerating this movie because of the whole Captain Marvel thing. I thought they're only supporting this movie because, you know, it's a bloke in it and blah, blah, blah. Well, how wrong was I?
I thought that too. And I saw it. I was completely blown away.
From the start to the finish, every single actor that was in it, but Joaquin Phoenix just blows it beyond. If he doesn't win the Oscar, it's rigged. He has to win the Oscar, right? But the performances, the ending is absolutely, it's hilarious, terrifying, and actually, holy shit. The end scene of that movie is just, and then when he's
I'm going to nip out for a couple of minutes because I haven't seen that film yet.
Well, I'm telling you, Dan, I watched it last night, and I'm still trying to get over what I saw. Brilliant. And
Good God, and you're made of stone as well now.
Little references in it as well.
I'll be back in a few minutes. Hang on a second.
You see little posters and all in the background. For example, it's not the biggest spoiler, but there's one little one. I just have to say this. There's a poster, there's a scene in the movie, right? You'll see it. And there's a poster in the background. And on the poster says Ace in the Hole. And I thought, what a reference, because it's referencing obviously the Jack Nicholson, movie. So I thought, brilliant. This movie is a masterpiece. It's well crafted. And by the way, all those gobshite people that are calling for a second movie, no, doesn't need a second movie. It ended perfectly. It doesn't need a second movie. It's a masterpiece on its own. You do a second movie, right? It's not going to have the same intensity. It's not going to have the same feel. It's going to be a completely different movie, because what will happen is fans will demand that you either bring a penguin in or you bring someone in. And
they'll ruin it. They need to stop. It. Yeah.
So Joker as a standalone movie, leave it. Just leave it. It's perfect. You don't need to mess with it. You don't need to do a sequel. You don't need to do a prequel. You don't need to do nothing. And Joaquin Phoenix, man, is proven to be the actor that I always thought he was. He should walk away with that Oscar. There is actually no competition.
We haven't had a movie like that in about 25 years.
Exactly.
or longer. That movie would have been something they would have made in the 70s.
Yeah.
But just, I mean, up there with Taxi Driver for sure.
I agree. I see all those journalists that were saying that was toxic and all this crap. I don't know what you're talking about. This movie showed the effects of abuse. It showed the effects on the human brain. It showed the effects of what years of physical and emotional abuse does to a person. You see him. There's actually a scene in the movie where you actually see the point where he cracks. And it's just absolutely. And you know what? Even though he does something in the movie, and you're quite shocked, you don't blame him. This is
you kind of understand it. You don't justify it, but you understand it.
Yeah, you understand.
And that's what makes this movie so interesting. It's like you see part of yourself a little bit. You can't help to, because everyone has a breaking point, and it kind of shows that. Like if you push someone so hard, everyone has a breaking point. Everyone does. You will. Here's the thing: you will relate to this character at some point in the movie. There'll be something in the movie that you say, "Oh yeah, that does happen." You'll relate to something. A very relatable character in some ways. Now you wouldn't go to the extremes that he did, but if you see what happens in the movie and happens in the movie, you can understand his point of view. It doesn't make it right, but you can understand it. This movie blew me away. I have not seen a great movie in a long time, and I am glad I put that movie on last night. I actually put it on at 5 o'clock this morning. Okay.
Right? What time I put the movie on it, and I sat here and I did not move from this chair. I was glued to my screen.
And it is one of those movies that I actually went and saw it by myself because my husband was sick, and I'm glad I did. Nothing against him, but it was one of those movies where you just need to watch it by yourself.
Yeah, and Cheryl won't watch it because she has a fear of clowns. So she's never gonna watch it. But I said to her last night, I wish you could get over your clown phobia because you need to see this movie.
He is a clown, but I don't know. It's hard to describe. It's not quite. I mean, I'm not going to say she should watch it, but it's a lot different than the clown from It.
Yeah, he's just brilliant. He's just Joaquin Phoenix. Wow, Robert De Niro. I mean, he's not in the movie long, but he makes he is brilliant.
There's a lot of I don't know if you've ever seen the show King of Comedy.
Yeah, I have.
But there's scenes that are kind of reminiscent of that.
Yeah.
And that was interesting that he threw that in there. Of course, Robert De Niro was on the other side of that.
I'm back. Are we still talking about Joker? Is it safe to come back? Is it safe to come back?
We're not really giving too much.
Blue's smiling at me.
Soundtrack as well with this movie is absolutely fantastic as well. Just everything about this movie, it's a perfect movie. It really is. I even the social commentary in it didn't bother me because it was shocked. Do you know what it kind of reminded me of? Do you remember in Batman Begins? When Bruce Wayne confronted your man in the courtroom for murdering his parents, and he talked about that time. Well, I was kind of thinking, well, they could link it to Batman Begins because, you see the way. I won't say anything because there's a major spoiler in it, but this movie has to be watched. And if you haven't watched The Joker yet,
I've got it upstairs on
DVD. No wonder it actually is the most it's the most successful comic book movie ever made, which it is. And the reason why it is because it's well written, well directed, well acted, and everybody, including De Niro and all the supporting cast, are on point. Even his mother in the movie, she's a great actress.
Oh yeah, she is so good. I love her, and she's an American Horror Story as well, and she's a great actress.
Great actress. That's what I mean. She's great top quality actors in this movie. This does not need. All these fans calling for a second one, you are idiots. You clearly didn't understand the movie in the first place, because if you did, you will see that movie ended perfectly. It doesn't need a sequel.
But I do think it'd be interesting to put another villain in that same kind of the way they filmed that. I think they could do that.
In Arkham Asylum, they could do as well. Yeah. If they did it in Arkham Asylum, but the thing about it, and I would kind of have that same feel, but you wouldn't have the murderous side of him, and I think that's the interesting part of him. I mean, his motivation and stuff, like they could tap into that, but I don't know. I think I don't know. I just don't know. I'd have to see an early showing of this movie, second movie, to be honest with you, to make a judgment. I mean, I hope they don't make one because I don't think it needs one.
Guys, what I was
would say they could tap into other villains.
That's what I was trying to say. Yeah.
You know, they may have a success with the Joker, so why not bring back a couple of DC characters that are not well known to people like me and do an R-rated version movie like that? I don't know. I think it'd work. I think they're on something here with these R-rated movies. I mean, Deadpool started it all off. You know, why not continue down that?
We've got the Morbius thing coming with Jared Leto and Matt Smith later on this year, which is going to do. I know that's Marvel. It's Marvel at Sony. So along the similar lines of Venom, so that will hopefully go down that road and start to open up these characters in Marvel and DC. We've got Vin Diesel playing Bloodshot as well, the Valiant character that's coming out as a movie in about 6 weeks. So these things, they are sort of coming through, and there'll probably come a time where lots and lots of films. I mean, you know, it tends to work in cycles, doesn't it? So, you know, it'll take them a while now. They'll all go away and they'll fiddle with their own version of Joker, and we'll get a load of films like that all at once. But in the meantime, I mean, I thought Venom was great. You know, looking forward to Morbius. But what I wanted to ask you guys, because I haven't got too much longer, it's getting late. But I wanted to ask you, Noel, about this Timeless Child rumor that you were trailering earlier on. What is that all about? Who's Ruth? What's going on?
Ruth is a character. I put her up on yesterday's stream. Hold on, I'll get her up again. Hold on. It should be easy enough. Fugitive of the Jodie. Where we go? The fugitive. Jodie. Right, so apparently she does, this character does, where is it? Spoilers, there it is. Right.
Because I couldn't be less interested in this Timeless Child story if...
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Well, right, so do you remember when there was a big furore on Twitter a few months back? It was at the time when Rose Tyler was rumored to be coming back, and everybody had seen a snap of the script, and they saw her name on top, and a lot of fans were speculating that it was Rose. Well, it turned out that the name on the script, because a fan actually found out later, the name on the script was actually Ruth. Now, Ruth is going to become a major character apparently, and she's supposed to be either an earlier version of the Doctor or the Timeless Child herself, or both even. I don't know how it's explained, but she's supposed to be either an earlier version of the Doctor. So this female regeneration line that they're talking about, she's supposed to be the earliest one of the earliest ones, if rumors are true. So apparently she's the Doctor.
So this character of Ruth is supposed to be the Doctor?
Yeah, an earlier version of the Doctor. Now, Eddie Ascaro broke the news on his channel tonight while he was talking about, obviously, Captain Jack stuff. But Ruth, I'm trying to find this woman, but all of a sudden her photographs are not coming up.
Yeah, prepare yourself, Dan. She looks like a mom.
Okay. Oh,
that's who I think you're talking about. Yeah.
No, I'm struggling to weigh up which one of those two explanations of who this character could be. I don't know which one sounds the more dull. They're both pretty uninspiring.
There she is. Right. So I'll read the article. So Doctor Who Series 12 episode 5 spoilers. Here's what to expect, and this is from The Sun. Doctor Who returns to screen on Sunday night with another gripping episode full of aliens and drama. Now, I will say something. Nikki Wilson, who was one of the executive producers of this show, threw out a tweet earlier on with the trailer. Now, interestingly, BBC put out an extended trailer, and right at the end of the trailer, it said something about someone returning soon. Now, they've actually put that trailer out again today, but they've actually cut the ending of that trailer, right, for some weird reason. I don't know why. It seems a bit stupid to me, but they've actually cut a few seconds off this trailer for some weird reason. Now, the return of the Jadoon, we know that already, so I won't read what they say, right? So, finding the fugitive, right? So, no one seems to have any idea what or who or what the Jadoon are looking for in present-day Gloucester. So, naturally, it's up to the Doctor and her companions, Ryan, Yaz, and Graham, to try and put a stop to it all. The Galactic Police Force find Lee and Ruth, which is played by Joe Martin, the local odd couple living their seamlessly normal life. Ruth is a bubbly and well-known tour guide, so it seems tense and worried Lee might be the one trying to hide something. Right? So Neil Zuki, if that's his name, or Stookie, will be starring in the episode as Lee Clayton. So he's obviously playing her husband, and the actor is no stranger to viewers. He starred in shows such as Dr. Foster, Suspects, and Silent Witness. Showrunner Chris Chibnall gushed, and we're all over the moon with the Jadoon to be welcoming the wondrous Neil Stook as guest star. We can't wait to show you what happens when his path crosses with the 13th Doctor. So, fans are speculating, obviously, but the rumor is that this woman, Ruth, is actually is very important within the context of this era, and that she's going to be playing a different character other than Ruth. Whether that's the Timeless Child. Now, we have seen a still of the Timeless Child, and we do know the Timeless Child is black. Ruth is an older woman, so maybe, I don't know, maybe the Timeless Child was exiled onto Earth, and that could be the Timeless Child. Or, as the other rumor suggests, this could be an earlier version of the Doctor. So, while we know William Hartnell as the first Doctor, apparently this will be even an earlier version, the true Lion, which Gary from Neurotics, as you know, actually spoke about months ago. So this whole rumor that he spoke about, it looks like he's gone down this route, and I'm being honest with you, it comes from the same sources that gave me the Spyfall information. So this is what worries me, because they were right, and that video got taken down on me because I gave away trade secrets, apparently. So this is what I've been receiving from them. This is what's happening. I'm being honest, this is what I think is happening, and this show and its legacy is screwed.
Mm-hmm.
Screwed.
I feel the same way.
Game over.
I think if we're talking about an arc in connection with another planet, another civilization that was going on somewhere in Doctor Who, generally, I might feel differently about this. I'd still be bored by it, if I'm honest, because I feel like I've seen this all before. It's some big thing against the patriarchy again. It's dull. But to use the Time Lords and Time Lord mythology and all this sort of stuff, it's people are going to reject this. People who have been hanging on, hoping that the corner would be turned and that it would become Doctor Who again. People who were excited by week 2 and going back to Gallifrey and all this sort of thing. I think if it comes to pass and all this happens and all that mythology is reworked and pulled down and remade in Chris Chibnall's image to make whatever message hit home that he wants to try and sell, then people people are just going to leave. It'll be sort of the last person left. Just close the door on your way out. I think the general audience are bored by all this stuff. It means nothing to them. They will see that. They will just see another message and be tuned out by it. I think old fans are just going to be pissed off. I'm pissed off just at the thought of it.
Mm-hmm.
Younger fans, maybe some of the more woke people out there, I think they may at first, they'll clap and nod to one another the way that they do, it's correct or whatever, and then just forget about it and go and watch something else.
Yep.
It's totally inconsequential bullshit. None of it matters. It can only take away 100-fold more than it could ever bring to Doctor Who. It's past the point. It doesn't make my piss boil the way it used to with Doctor Who, because Chris Chibnall is disappointed time after time after time after time. He doesn't really care about the show's mythology. All he really cares is what he can turn it into. And yeah, I mean, if as always, if there are people out there who are enjoying this, then good luck to you. You're welcome to it. But this certainly isn't my Doctor Who. This isn't what. It's heartbreaking to see it mess
there
with
you go. Just look at that image of Gallifrey in Chris Chibnall era.
Somebody close to me that night when that episode was shown was really upset about it. Somebody who'd grown up on Russell T Davies' Doctor Who. They thought that was a cheap shot. They just found it really upsetting. There's something close to them that they felt really mattered to them over that period of not just the Russell T Davies era, over a period of nearly 10 years, that it was all just being dismantled for what was essentially a cheap shot to bring in a few viewers on a Sunday night. And that's only going to continue. And, and it's right. This isn't going to wrap up this year. He'll spin this out to season 13 as well, leaving us with this mess to pick our way through in the time in between.
Exactly, and this is what he's doing with the show. So when you see that image of Gallifrey, just look at it right there. That's what he is doing to this show right now. And I'm telling you, I've put it up there. You boycott this show. You continue our boycott, because I'm telling you, if Jodie is staying, trust me, if you continue to boycott this series, you'll make BBC change their decision, because they cannot justify this any longer. They can't. The ratings are down. Eddie Ascaro showed on his video, even the interest of Doctor Who is down. Nobody is even interested anymore. They have killed this show stone dead. And maybe that is Chibnall's plan. Maybe that is BBC's plan. Maybe it is getting too expensive to actually create. Then I say the money to throw at the production values and all. Then so it can't be a money issue.
And no. Here's how I see it. There are good people out there all over social media, people who mean well, people who care, trying to organise, petitions today, in fact. And I'm sure they mean well. I don't think they're going about it in the best way, but I know that they mean well. It's pointless. It's absolutely pointless. There's only one way that you can get your message heard on this subject. One peaceful, perfectly pleasant way to let them hear that you're not happy is to cancel your TV license.
Yeah.
To do it as soon as you can. Find that link. I've got a link here. I'll share it on my social media. If you go to my Twitter and whatnot. In fact, I shared it earlier on. I'll share it again later on. If you disagree with this, send them the message loud and clear. If all true Doctor Who fans cancelled their TV license, they will feel it. They will feel it. And yeah, it's not an easy road to go down. I've done it. You can do it too. They will try and put you off at every junction. I'm going to make a video about this at some point in the future about my journey to getting my TV license cancelled, because it really is a colourful one. They don't make it easy for you, but do it. If you disagree with them, if you resent the BBC for what they're doing, for how they're ruining Doctor Who, for how they're filling their entire output with all this diversity and not diverse ideology. I've got no problem with diversity, but all this ideology and all this charter stuff. If you've had enough, you want to be entertained instead. Get rid of your TV license. Get Netflix. Get anything. Get BritBox. Get anything but the BBC. Subscribe to something else. It's not impossible. We've been conditioned in this country to accept this, basically a tax on owning a TV set. Don't do it anymore. If you hate what they're doing to Doctor Who, cancel your TV license. That's
it. I agree.
Yep.
That's as close as I'll get to a rant.
If you live in America, don't watch it on BBC America. Don't give it a rating.
That's it. Don't. It's the only way you're going to get through to these people. I mean,
it is.
You know, we are.
And don't let them into your house
say you can't. What? Sorry, Bad Wolf.
Yep.
Don't let them into your house either, because they'll try and scare you into paying.
Yeah.
If they don't see a TV,
it's a serious business. Yeah, it is a serious business.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can do it. I've done it. You can do it.
Yeah. It's like a dictatorship with the BBC. You can, they show what they want to show. You don't have any say in it, and that's it, really. I mean, people wanted to bring back Robot Wars, which was cancelled in 2017, but they didn't listen.
Yeah, you like Robot Wars. You're a fan of Robot Wars, aren't you? Yeah.
Yeah, it was good while it lasted. I mean,
that was another show that people. That was a show that people loved, though, wasn't it, Bad Wolf? It was a show which had a devoted audience that absolutely loved it. You know, the ratings weren't huge, but those people watched it every time. It didn't shed viewers the way that Doctor Who's been doing. So why did they cancel it? What, you know, the Victoria Derbyshire show has been cancelled this week, which I don't watch. You know, I don't particularly like this woman. I don't find her very watchable. But it's a popular show with a devoted audience, and that does address certain key issues. But it doesn't get very high figures. It's got not a bad audience share, but it's not got very high figures. So they've cancelled it. Why is Doctor Who seemingly immune? How can Doctor Who shed half its audience but still not get
because it's promoting their ideology, and Robot Wars is not promoting an ideology.
Exactly.
True. True. Bang on.
And people with brains as well.
What was that? Sorry.
It had people with imagination and brains working on machines which could do damage. And the BBC don't like that. They want to dumb their audience down as much as possible.
Well, do you remember as well?
Do you
remember as well how the contestants on that show, they were all age groups working together, both genders, all ethnic groups, all on that show. It was, this was before their obsession with diversity. So they cancelled it in 2017. That was just after the charter was published. This was already a proper inclusive show that really united people who'd got a similar interest, that empowered kids and taught them an interest in things like electronics and that sort of competitive nature that people say that this generation are kind of losing. I'm not entirely sure that's fair, but you could see that in Robot Wars. Healthy competition, inventiveness, science, technology. And it was family TV, and it was on a night of the week where there was not a great deal else on, and they still cancelled it. And it stayed. They've cancelled it twice, but it stayed cancelled this time. It's unfair, and yet other things get series after series after series. Jodie Whittaker gets contract extended or whatever else. Again, I have to say, the people who are enjoying Jodie Whittaker's Doctor, I know that there's a good chunk of Doctor Who fandom that are. I've got nothing against them, and I don't want to rob you of something that you truly, truly enjoy. But voices like ours, I still maintain this. They say that we are a loud vocal minority, and we are not. If we were that much of a vocal minority, would the viewing figures be dropping at the rate that they are? Haven't I rambled on? Sorry.
It's okay. You're saying everything we've been saying.
It's great to hear you ramble on instead of bloody me for a change. Hey, everybody's happy to hear you ramble on.
I've got it out of my system. It's only because it's getting close to my bedtime. Thank you, Noel. Thanks for having me on. It's been great to catch up with you, and it's been lovely to see you again, Blue Bonnet.
Good to see you too again.
Happy New Year, and to meet you too, Bad Wolf. Yeah, I've sent him.
Fun.
I thought I sent you to sleep. I've got to go now, but I'll hear from you all soon. I'm sure that, and thank you to everybody who's spoken to me in chat. I've sent a few messages and things like that. It's lovely I see some of the same names all over again. But yeah, it's been great. So thank you for listening and putting up with me, and for informing me about all these juicy rumours, none of which I'm particularly excited about. But still, thank you all. Good night.
Good to see you again. Night.
See ya.
Bye, gang. I'll get used to this eventually.
Yeah, I think he's saying everything what we're saying. We've been saying all this. It's
It's
just sad.
I mean, Matrix Lord, right, who I don't always agree with, is even being attacked because, and I mean, he found Orphan 55 enjoyable, and he's still being attacked by another YouTuber out there who I've actually had a run in with before. This person's just trying to be, I don't know, maybe their channel's not doing well because, you know, they talk positively about this era, and being honest with you, channels that actually do talk positively about this era are actually struggling.
They are.
Because for the simple reason is that everybody could see that it's crap. So maybe this person is trying to garner attention to his channel. But all I'll say is that even though I don't agree with Matrix Lord all the time, but for you to come out and attack him for no reason whatsoever, because he's actually defending and actually begging Chris Chibnall not to destroy canon, you decided to have a go. Listen, I know you're a fan of Jodie Whittaker's Doctor. We know you're a fan of Jodie Whittaker's era, but what you do not have the right to do, and I've told you this before, you idiot, you don't have the right to go and attack people because of their opinions, right? Just because you like it. If you like it, all well and good. You enjoy it, you watch it, and you and your followers enjoy it. But to be lying and to be going around and attacking people in this fandom is unforgivable. So you're getting a warning, and we're putting you on notice now. You leave Matrix Lord alone. You leave everybody else alone that has a problem with this era, and you just concentrate on your own little channel like a good little boy there, yeah?
What's strange to me is these people, they can't enjoy this unless you're behind it. Like it bothers them so bad that you don't like it. So that ruins. I've heard like, well, you're ruining my enjoyment. How am I ruining your enjoyment of Jodie Whittaker? If she's so good, does it matter?
Yeah,
I mean, to me, it's like they just have no control of their own emotions and feelings, and it's just.
You're right, though. You're absolutely bang right. If they love her so much and they think the show is so great, what does their opinion matter then? If they're happy with it and the show is so great, and so
I mean, look, there's some episodes that you don't like that I like, vice versa. But that doesn't keep you from enjoying it because I don't like it, or vice versa. These people like. They have to have this utopia that just doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And I just, it's so old. I don't even get on any regular Doctor Who forums anymore because it's just.
Yeah. Oh. I've seen people that don't normally, get involved in any of it and have made a comment and have ended up being attacked. And I've had to delete people. It's actually sad. I just see it every day on Facebook. You know, people saying I've had to delete a certain amount of people because they didn't like my opinion on Series 12. Like, it's ridiculous. If this is the problem. If the series is so good, why is all lashing out?
Right. If it's so great, and it doesn't matter if you like it. That's all that matters. If no one liked Peter Capaldi and I was the only one in the whole world that liked it, I would still like Peter Capaldi. It doesn't affect me. I just don't understand that logic.
That's it. And like, I don't care if people don't like, you know, Peter Capaldi. I just don't like the personal attacks on him. Like,
right, exactly.
I'm not Matt Smith's biggest fan. I think he's a great doctor, but doesn't mean me and you are going to be at each other's throats because.
Right. I mean, I can admit he's got some great stellar episodes that I enjoy watching.
Yeah.
That's the difference between him and Jodie Whittaker. Yeah. I can actually enjoy some of his.
A different doctor, but there's nothing wrong with that because everybody has their own favorite doctor. Like in the new era, it's Peter Capaldi for me. For you, who is it?
It's Peter Capaldi.
There you go. So you know what I mean.
So we agree on that. You know,
for some it's David Tennant. For some it's Matt Smith. That's fine.
Right.
I get that. But these people, you're just not allowed. You know, you can't say that someone's better than Jodie Whittaker even, or this episode was better than this episode this week. You can't say things even like that. Like, even if you don't directly attack the episode and you say, well, I thought this episode, which is nearly similar to it, was better done, they still have a problem with that.
Right. She has to be the bestest ever. And if she's not, then you're a twat. That's what that's I mean, and that's how they look at it. It's like, she's got to be the number one. She's the bestest doctor to ever be. And how dare you say John Pertwee could, you know, act better than her? And it's childish. It's so childish. And it's like, you know, I'm ready to be a part of a fandom that support each other. And so I think a lot of fans have just stopped conversing with one another and now because, you know, they don't know. You're getting it from both sides.
Yeah, but the great thing about it is, though, Blue Bonnet, is that yourself, your husband, Wolf, you know, others out there have YouTube channels where fans like us that are like-minded, can actually have. I mean, I've even noticed in my live chat tonight, like, everybody's interacting with each other, everybody's having a conversation, and I love it. And that's the way the fandom.
Yeah, it used to be. I kind of got in on the tail end of it, unfortunately, because I was watching, but I wasn't part of forums. And I got in on it probably latter part of Smith, early part of Capaldi. So, you know, I got it on the very tail end. So I didn't see all the camaraderie that I'm sure came before. But, you know, I know what you're saying, though. Like, I'm glad I stumbled onto your channel because at the time I thought, what's wrong with me? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe, you know, maybe this is good and I'm just not seeing it. But it was nice to hear that I wasn't, you know, you had the same concerns about Series 11 than I did.
Yeah.
So that
I don't mind if there's YouTubers out there that defend this era either, right?
Yeah.
The problem that I have with them then is that they use it as an opportunity then to have a go at other people that don't like it. Just do your review. If you like it, do your review, say why you like it, and leave it at that. You don't have to add then your 2 cents to the argument by saying, well, I think the not my doctor side, whoever it is, or the people that don't like this era are bigots, sexist, racist. Just do your bleeding review, right? If you like it, you like it. And then they wonder why then fans will go after them. See, the thing about it is, right, it's both sets of fans. If someone comes after me, I typically don't hold back. You know that, right? Maybe I have been because, you know, I've gotten to the stage where there's no point. You can't fight everybody on the internet. They're not going to win every single battle, right? But at the end of the day, if someone calls me out, then of course I will act because that's what you do. But you only act when someone calls you out. But there's people deliberately out there seeking out people just to start an argument.
Oh, I know.
Like, for example, me and you, after you were on the last we were sent. No, some person. It was obviously someone that was watching us and loved watching us. Was actually making a comment about liking the stream, and then underneath it, then we got sent a message that basically said, "Kill yourself."
Yeah.
Right. All because we don't like. We didn't.
Yeah,
like
it's crazy. I showed my husband he was like, "That's ridiculous. That's just so ridiculous." I mean, you know, and sarcastic me has to say, "Well, at least it was a decent doctor that's someone telling me to kill myself because I just can't help myself."
Don't get me wrong, and I want to just say this. And Blue Bonnet said it as well on actually Twitter. If this person actually thought that tweet actually annoyed us or upset us in any way, it didn't. I get sent worse things than that anyway. I can't personally speak for Blue Bonnet, but it didn't bother me. The reason why I did the video was to expose this behavior because this behavior is disgusting. Now, this side of the fandom has been accused of being the toxic ones and the ones that are the violent and are the ones with threatening behavior. But I think most channels, actually YouTube channels, have shown that it's actually the other side, the J-bots. Now, I'm going to say J-bots and I'm not going to say new Whovians because that's what they are. They're J-bots. So just fans of Jodie Whittaker, right? Now, the other fans that have a problem with us not liking the era, just say things like, and you notice who they are because they'll just say, well, if you don't like it, you know, it might, hopefully you'll come back to Doctor Who someday. They're not telling you to feck off. They're not telling you this, that, and the other, right? They're not calling your names. They're just saying, I'm sorry that you don't like Doctor Who right now.
Right.
Those fans I don't mind. But these J-bots, they're the toxic ones, right? You see the way they behave now. They have went after people now that I've seen on YouTube, that I'm actually following on YouTube. Now, I'm not saying they're going after them because they follow me, but I do see a lot of it happen. They swarm. Someone will write a comment and then they'll all swarm onto this person's Twitter account. That's why I've locked my Twitter account.
Yeah, I did the same thing.
Dealing with these idiots all the time. Because if I start my Twitter account, trust me, I think a lot of people would actually be relieved, because then all the focus, trust me, I am hated on Twitter. If you type my name, you should see some of the things that are actually said about me. It's actually
I've seen them.
Yeah. I mean, people think I don't notice these things. The reason why I don't say anything anymore is because it doesn't bother me. Is are a bunch of idiots, and this era is not going to last. So, like, is are going to be gone, and that's the way I'm looking at it now. Because as soon as Jodie Whittaker goes, the J-bots will be gone.
They're probably already gone. They probably haven't hardly watched any of Series 12.
I know.
The only reason they're supporting this is because it's Jodie Whittaker's a woman.
Yeah.
And the LGBT, whatever the alphabet people, are supporting her because she represents. Why, I don't understand, because she's obviously Chibnall seems to think that is not portraying her yet as a gay character. So I'm not really sure. Maybe is it the rainbow shirt? I don't know. But they latch on to her like she's some kind of like ambassador.
Yeah.
So that's all it is.
There's an uncomfortable kind of relationship there, isn't there? Kind of a weird relationship between bots.
I get more, and nothing against transgender people. My cousin is a transgender person. Nothing against that, but I get more hate from the transgender community than any community.
So do I. Oh my God, I've been called transphobic. I've been called racist. Oh, actually, I've been called racist as well, but transphobic. Yeah, there's a certain person on Twitter and YouTube. Now he's not on my channel because I block him every time he comes on, but he's appeared on other people's streams when I appear on them now. But he's been going around. It's been a 7-month campaign now at this stage. He's been going around telling people that I'm transphobic and telling people they should unsubscribe to me. I was kind of thinking maybe that's why I'm gaining actually subscribers. Maybe he's actually helping me cause out there, but he really needs to stop slandering me, because, as I said, I've explained my opinions on the whole transgender issue. I think people know where I stand on the transgender issue. I have some concerns, yes. I wouldn't be human if I didn't have concerns and questions. Right. But as I have always said, if you want to identify as a tree, if you want to identify as whatever, if you want to change gender, you could do whatever you want if you're an adult. That's up to you. And at the end of the day, I have no right to tell you that you can't do this. But when it comes to children, and I've always said it, when it comes to transgenderism in children, that's where I start asking questions, because an adult can make an informed decision. Children can't, and adults are making those decisions for children. So I've put it all out there, and I've told people where I stand, and I'm not going to explain it again. I've explained it too many times, and this is the last time I've explained it. So that's where I stand on the whole issue. When it comes to adults, I have no problem. When it comes to children, that's a different story. I think we need to ask questions, and that's it. Simple as that. That doesn't make me transphobic. It just makes me want to know more information and to be informed.
Right. Okay? There's nothing wrong with that.
And there's nothing wrong with that. So I've explained. So if that person still thinks I'm transphobic, well, that's.
There's no convincing him anyway. If you're having to explain it this many times, you know, there's a screw loose there.
Oh, by the way, that video that I did of me and you, do you remember that tweet that we got? I had to delete the comment, but someone came on to the comment and turn around and says to me, Tardis on Noel, you deserve everything you're getting.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, so I mean, this is the kind of thing, and all because I don't like an era of Doctor Who, and you have to put it in perspective like that. This is how crazy this all is. Years ago when I was in the fandom, you could complain about something. People mightn't necessarily agree with you, and yes, you would have heated arguments or heated debates, but it would never get personal.
But, you know, I think the BBC changed the gender just to almost, like, I don't want to think this, but almost to kind of see, like, it was almost like a social experiment and get the dialogue. You know, we need to have this dialogue. This is healthy. This is horrible. This is how fandoms are broke apart. This is how friendships are broken apart. So, you know,
I know. I've lost a lot of friends because of this era.
Right. I mean, it affects a lot of your friendships, which is stupid.
I mean, I did a video which was probably ill-advised, but I did apologize for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I lost an awful lot of friends because of that. But you know,
listen, I lost a lot of friends because who I voted for, so I have a pretty tough skin.
Yeah.
So I think in a way that's why maybe it doesn't affect me as much, because I've had to have a thick skin since 2016. So I lost a lot of friends. So for me, this is just small fry.
Yeah. I just get on with it now. There's no point in dwelling on the past.
Yep.
You just got to move on.
Yep, you have to move on, and
there's worse stuff happening around the world, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah.
Be getting, upset about if I'm honest about you. We were on the verge of World War III a couple of weeks back. Even though I actually did have a go at people saying we're not going to head to World War III because there's too many sane people out there.
Well, anything could happen. I mean, you can't.
Well, anything can happen. You're right.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see what happens anyway. Look.
But I mean, and I say I get all upset about Doctor Who, but really in reality, it is just a show. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's a show. It means a lot to me, and but I have to put it in perspective, and I have to look at it this way. It's just a show, and there's a lot more kind of important things going on in the world, even though I do make videos and that type of thing. But
Doctor Who used to be, I'll say this to Bad Wolf as well, but I found Dr. Wolf to be an escape from all the bad that was happening around. Now that's become part of the things that we hate, not hate, but things that are, annoying people in society. Now it's become part of our TV shows and our movies and stuff.
Right, and I think that's very unfortunate because, like I said, we need an escape. It's like, yes, I don't mind having a little bit of that thrown in, but when it's a constant array, look, we have to deal with that's enough. In the news, it's everywhere. It's like it's almost like they always want you talking about it, always want you thinking about it. And I think that's very unhealthy. And it, like I said, I started watching older shows to get away from it because I have to have a happy medium. I have to, to me, that's a good balance. And it's getting harder and harder to find that. You have to kind of go back and watch older shows and relive those, or watch something you never watched before that's older. I mean, that's how I deal with it. Big Finish is always a good one. Classic Doctor Who always makes me feel good. So
yeah, we're going to be doing, myself and Cheryl are going to be doing some classic reviews. We're going to see if we can actually, I'm going to check it out and see how you can do live watch-alongs. You know the way you do see people
that's one reason why I got a new computer, because I was trying to do some stuff with OBS, and it was not, not working. So my husband's like, look, it's time you got a new computer. So yeah, that would be really cool. Let me know if you figure that out.
Yeah, got to figure it out, because I think that'd be a great idea, and we want to
really would
together on the channel as well, and maybe bring you and your husband on as well.
Yeah, I think that would be a lot of fun. Yeah, that would be.
So yeah, that'd be a good idea.
I mean, the one good thing about all this is that I was able to kind of draw my husband to Doctor Who a little bit more. So even though there's some negative. He's getting into more like stuff like Blake 7, and he's open to watching classic Doctor Who, and that actually is a good thing.
That's every what do they say? Every day has a silver.
Every cloud has a silver lining.
Every cloud has a silver lining. See, that's your silver. Your husband now is getting into Doctor Who. I actually love having Jason on the show. He's great. I love the way he analyzes things. He gives a different perspective.
He really does, and he sees things that I don't see. Like even some of the classic stuff, he'll point something out, and I'm like, "Wow, I never noticed that before."
Yeah, and that's why I like having him on, because then he'll say something, and I'm like, "You, when you look at it from that point, yeah, actually." So yeah, is are still coming on Sunday anyway? Yeah?
Yes, we're gonna trudge through it.
Yeah.
By God, he got me a case of beer tonight. Hopefully, I won't drink it all. But I
might have a whiskey bleeding on Sunday. Oh, Jesus.
I'm trying to watch my calories, so I have to drink light beer, which is disgusting, but it's still alcohol. So No.
Oh, well,
Bad Wolf, what do you
I've
think?
got
Do you
a
think
new word.
this week's episode will be an improvement on last week's, or do you think? Well, actually, yeah. I'll ask you this. Actually, do you think next week that Sunday's episode? Actually, we're on the weekend. I forgot to wish you all a happy weekend. Actually,
Oh, thank you. I'm so glad it's on.
I forgot it was Friday.
Hey.
So 2 days, yeah. So do you think we're going to get an improvement? Oh, by the way, can I just say, in BBC's desperate attempt, actually, to get people to watch, as I said, Nikki Wilson, the executive producer of this series, and actually, I'll go to her Twitter account because I want to read this tweet out, because some people are speculating that it actually might be River Song coming back, because
Oh God.
as she said in her tweet, I'll read this tweet out to you now. Hold on. Nikki Wilson. Is this here? Hold on. Right. Where's this tweet? Is it a real Nikki Wilson? Or is this just some gobshite pretending to be Nikki Wilson? Well, she's followed by all the right people. And she says BBC UK programs. Oh, she is. Okay, but she doesn't have a question mark, a blue tick on her Twitter account. That's unusual. Right. So this is what she wrote a day ago. And this has gotten a lot of fans speculating. So she wrote, actually, I will tell you the tweet that she wrote over. So it was a Doctor Who official tweet. And the Doctor Who official tweet said, thought the Master returning was big. You won't believe what happens this week, right? Now, this is what BBC are doing in their desperation right now. So, Nikki Wilson, who is an executive producer on this series, wrote, it really is an episode of major surprises and twists. Now, this is the part that has gotten fans all in a bit of a River Song fans in particular. No spoilers, sweeties. Just don't miss it. Right? So,
her story ended with Capaldi.
Now, I actually think we're going to actually disagree on that one again, Blue Bonnet, because I actually thought her story ended way before that, and they dragged.
Oh, you're talking about the Silence of the Library.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah,
the
I mean, I can see that.
Like, Silence of the Library was the end, and I didn't mind when she appeared in Matt Smith's era, but after Matt Smith's era, she should never come back for Capaldi's era, in fairness. That's where it should have ended. I think the last time we should have seen River was in Matt's era. But that's just me personally. I think her story, she became an annoying character for me, like Clara. So, yeah. So
I didn't like her early on with Matt Smith, though.
No, I agree, but I will say something. BBC America last year deleted the tweet, if people remember, and I'll have to try fish it out. I think it's on my Facebook group from last year, so I'm going through a lot of posts to try find this. But there was a photograph BBC America put up, the Doctor and her wife, right? And it was deleted, and then they reposted it with a new heading, and it was the Doctor and River Song or something like that. It was, right? So they changed it from Doctor is a wife to Doctor is River and River Song, right? Now that was last year, right? The funny thing is, though, is that was last year, and people speculate that River was coming back, but it was put to bed straight away. Then John Barrowman starts talking about Torchwood, right? And then a possible Doctor Who movie, right, with Tennant roles and all, and that was shut down straight away. What if these guys have been telling us all along with these little things? Because just Jodie Whittaker and Alex Kingston just happened to meet each other. They just happened to bump into each other. That's a bit weird.
Well, I think Jack Harkness makes sense because he's tried to rip off RTD this whole series already. Yeah. So I mean, that would be a move I think he'd make. River, they might be trying to throw us off or something.
I think it is to throw us off because I think it's Captain. I honestly think that the reveal at the end of this episode will be the Sea Devil, and it's going to be nothing major, or it could be Captain Jack. But I've been told that he's not appeared until later. So if it's not him, it's not the Sea Devils, well then maybe. Oh Jesus, I can't.
Rose.
Say this. No, maybe Bleeding River Song is coming back.
God, you know she's gonna say hello, sweetie. You know she's gonna do it.
Well, I don't mind that because that's what she always says.
Yeah, I know, but it's to Jodie Whittaker.
I just hope there's no sexual tension and
Oh,
flirting.
there's gonna be, and she's gonna talk about, you know, how she likes chains, and oh my God, it's just gonna be all that over again. And I'm just like, I just can't.
I think
That's what
River's
she wrote
story
anyway.
is over.
And then the responses to her tweet, I'll give you some of the responses.
I mean, she should have ended in Silence of the Library, and that was it. But Moffat had to drag her on and on and on.
But you see, the thing about it is, Sweeties, is this in itself a major spoiler? River Song, maybe Sweeties, but I'm just trying to think though. She just could be just calling people Sweeties because that is a word that
She
is.
said spoilers, and that was the other thing she used to say, spoilers.
But she did say spoilers. No spoilers, Sweeties. So.
Yep. But I mean, again, it could be to throw us off because so far, I mean, there has been some Moffat steals, obviously, but it's the whole series so far has just been one RTD ripoff in every episode, at least once or twice or three times, even.
Well, do you know what? I just can't believe that RTD and Moffat would sit back and watch this unfold in front of their eyes.
I'm sure they're not real happy about it. I'd like to know. Might be a fly on that wall.
What would have been better if Ruth was revealed to be a Ruton criminal and she shapeshifts? That would have been a better
knowing
monster
Chibnall,
comeback.
he could make Ruth another version of River Song or something stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not that creative, really. I mean,
no, that's not creative. That's just being like, that's a soap opera tactic where we rehash what was already been, just like Gallifrey.
it's just dumb, really. But I don't know if the ratings will be any good. Will it go up? Will it go down?
It's gonna
I
go.
imagine it'd be a slight increase, but not much.
I don't think the Jadoon is gonna bring people like. It's not enough. I mean, maybe.
No.
Maybe they are the Sea Devils, but they're not revealing that up front. So.
Time will tell, basically.
Well, Monday morning we should find out if this episode has managed to stop the slide.
Yeah.
But they're really trying their hardest here. Because I'm looking at it, they're really trying their hardest here to promote this. There's BBC America now. They put up, if you thought the first 4 episodes of this season were big, just wait until Sundays. So they are really, really, really promoting this week's episode. But they did say to us, if you remember last week, and I'm going to say this to fans, so don't be fooled. Last week, the BBC told us, don't forget to watch the ending of Orphan 55. Oh, not last week, the week before. Yeah, Orphan 55, episode 3. Don't forget to tune into Orphan 55. There's a the ending is amazing, right? And
make sure you watch it to be indoctrinated.
And all we did was we saw a drag right at the end. It was nothing major. So this could be another ploy, or there could be something really happening here. But do we really care at this stage?
Probably
no,
not.
I really don't care.
Seriously, man. I just, even River Song coming back, I should have, even though she annoyed me, the fact, you know, if I hear River Song coming back, I still should have some sort of excitement.
Well, no, because it's a jump. It's a jump the shark move. It's a jump the shark move. It's like, you know, when a series is ending, when they start parading all the old characters out in one season. It's on its last legs. They do that with every show. They do that with shows that are just their final season. They do that. Here's we got to say goodbye to all the old characters. That's what they do. It's the beginning of the end. That's what that means.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not all bad. I mean, do you remember Article 13? That European copyright law? Well,
No.
it's not being implemented in the UK. so that's good.
What does that mean, though? Break it down for us. What was the article? What was it going to do, and now what is the result?
Well, for people who were posting content which was already owned by other people, they would get a fine of something. But the UK, since leaving the EU,
right,
is not going to implement it, which is good.
Yes, this was the thing that you were talking about. You're right, actually. There was fines of up to 14,000, and even YouTube was going to start fining people if they actually had stuff on their videos which violated some sort of copyright or something. So they've actually decided not to do that. That's brilliant news. Then that was one thing that YouTubers were actually scared of. So that's good news.
Especially
I've
in
also
Europe.
heard that this copper thing is not the big deal that everybody is making it out to be. Some techie people have actually read all of it and the small print, and you're not really that much in danger with your videos once you know what you're doing. And I think a lot of YouTubers now are a lot smarter now because of this copper thing. So, but I will say this. There should be no reason for COPPA to be around. The only reason why there is because parents out there are actually not doing their job as parents and actually raising their kids. And they're leaving it to social media companies, schools and colleges and all to teach their kids rather than do it themselves. So
watch your kids.
Exactly.
Make sure you know what they're watching at all times.
Exactly. So why should people like us be punished because parents are not doing their job properly? But that's the world that we live in because nobody takes responsibility anymore. No. Right. I've been looking on Twitter. A couple of people are predicting the ratings, what they think the ratings will be. I see some saying 3.9. Some are saying 4.1. One has said 3.8. Guys in the live chat and also on the panel, what do you think? Do you think it's still going to go downward, or do you think we might actually get a cease in the drop? Because obviously they are trying to promote this episode. They're going all out, actually, it seems, to be honest. I mean, we even got a mid, which is unusual, and a lot of YouTubers have picked up on this. It is unusual to get a trailer like this, the way they've actually done it. They've never done it like this before, so there seems to be a real push, which begs the question, why weren't they pushing this a couple of months before the show aired? The reason why that was because Chris Chibnall had went missing and he's only back now, and this is what we're left with. We're left with rubbish. What do you think, guys? Are we going to hit under the 4 million mark on Sunday? We'll obviously know on Monday. Raymond Williams thinks it's going to drop to 3.4. Oh, 3.4 and it's gone, he says. But he thinks, that's Raymond O'Reilly. Raymond Williams says 3.9. Me personally, I don't think it's going to go under the 4 million mark. I think we'll just get 4 million. I think it'll just be, I think it'll get a lower drop this week than it has in previous weeks, just because I don't know. It's the middle of see, Doctor Who fans are a bit strange. They'll watch the first episode. If they like it, they'll watch the second. But if they don't like the second one, they'll leave it for a while. They'll come back then mid-season just to see how it's going.
See where it's
see where it's at. And then if it's not good, they'll drop off again. And then, so I think by the end of the series, we could be looking at a 3.4, 3.8 drop. But I say it's going to stay 4 million this week anyway. What do you guys think?
I think it'll remain steady, maybe drop a little bit, but I don't think it's going to drop all that much.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe it may go up to like 4.10, but I don't think for this episode it will go down to 3. Because it's the Jadoon, people like familiar faces. It comforts them in a way.
Well, true, because if there is a familiar face returning in this episode, it might actually boost. It could.
Yeah, if you think about it, we haven't seen any like original anything. I mean, This is the first time, isn't it? There wasn't any other, like, there wasn't Daleks, obviously. There wasn't Cybermen. There wasn't, I mean, the Skithra was a new sort of ripoff, but it was a new,
We'll see. I don't know. We'll see. This series has just been consistently getting worse.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know. And again, I'm not a huge fan of the Jodie. They don't really do much. I just don't know how good the story is going to be if the Jodie are the main feature with Jodie Whittaker. I don't know. Yeah, there's just so many on that. See, this is the thing about this era. I've said it. It annoys me so much. It is depressing me. But it does make for interesting viewing for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. But it gives us, I don't know, it gives me plenty to talk about then on Sunday and Monday, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah.
But this is just getting absolutely ridiculous. And the fact
really hard to
BBC, but the fact that BBC, if they have even, if it is happening for real, right? And if my source has gotten this information wrong, well, then it's the only part of it, the information that they've got wrong, and it actually sickens me because the only information I wanted right was the one that said Jodie Whittaker was leaving. But if it's true that she is staying, right, this is the biggest mistake BBC have made. Now, I think Chris Chibnall should go, right? Chris Chibnall is still the big major problem in this, but nobody likes Jodie Whittaker, and that's a fact.
No one does.
And
she ruins everything she's in. Every episode.
Hold on. So we've got just before we continue, we've got another guest joining us. So we've got Jason.
Hello.
How are you?
Oh, I'm hanging in there. What's up?
We're all still hanging in there. Hopefully by Sunday we're not literally hanging on by the fingertips. But we're just talking about the latest news. So actually I'll just fill everybody in one last time. So rumor is this: Jodie Whittaker apparently is staying. John Barrowman is to appear in Doctor Who again, and Ruth, the character in The Fugitive of the Jodie, there's speculation around her character that she's either an earlier version of the Doctor or might be some way connected to the Timeless Child, or is in fact the Timeless Child. So that's all the latest Doctor Who news, and we've been just briefly talking about, Jason, about Sunday's upcoming episode, The Fugitive of the Jodie, and speculating on ratings. Some are saying 3.8, there's a couple of 3.4s, some are saying 4.2. I'm saying it'll just be 4 million, around the 4 million mark. I'll say it still will drop, but not much of a drop. What do you think yourself?
I could probably get behind that.
Yeah, I say it stayed the 4 million. To be honest, I don't see it going under 3 yet. I don't see it getting into the trees yet. I'll say.
I was really surprised that it didn't drop down significantly after episode 3.
Yeah,
I was just amazed.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, Jason, you actually. Oh, what did I do there? Sorry, Jason. Jesus, I removed them and I got
musical squares.
Yeah, right. So, Jason, you've actually put your you've got your YouTube channel set up. So, I will give you the opportunity right now because obviously, as it's a new channel, and I loved your video, by the way.
Thank you.
So actually, Chris is there. Chris, if you could put up Jason's YouTube channel. He has his first video up there, guys. You should really go and take a look. I'm loving the old graphics and the intro, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you.
You can tell it's done expertly. Anyway,
I'm trying.
Good man. I love it. But do you want to just to give a taster and let people actually know what your first video is actually about.
Yeah, the first video is just sort of my take on, obviously that this era has a lot of problems. It's, from the writing, the acting. I mean, it just all the way around, there's a lot of problems. But I guess what I was trying to really hone in on, what is the number one, what is the biggest problem with this era right now? And that's sort of what I was trying to tackle. And if you watch the video, I sort of go through and detail what I think. I sort of break down, what I think of the writing and the acting and so forth. And I sort of break it down and delineate what I think, how those sort of fall, I don't want to say sequentially, but in their respective order of importance. And so that's kind of what it's about. Because I do think it's relevant. I do think that's important, because if you can kind of isolate what the biggest problem is, it won't solve the problems. It won't solve all the problems, but at least if you can get that one out of the way, it would ease some of the tension. Certainly won't solve everything, but so that's kind of what it was about.
There's your channel. It's up on the live chat, guys. Go and subscribe to his channel. He'll be on again on Sunday. He's part of the panel here. He's actually become part of the fixtures here on the Tardis zone. So follow him, subscribe to it. You're on Twitter as well, aren't you? But you don't. Really
I am. I don't have the address with me right now, but yeah, I am on Twitter. You should be able to find me. Don't
forget to subscribe to that YouTube channel. Get them up as fast as we can. And so let me see. I've got Daniel is leaving us, actually. Good night, Daniel. Have a great weekend.
Good night, Daniel.
Good night, Daniel. I didn't talk to you, but good night.
We'll get you back on again some stage next week. Anyway, Daniel, we'll do another panel. The BBC are never going to sack the first female doctor, says Raymond Williams. Well, they will this is the thing. There's a couple of fans on the fence about this, right? And there's a couple of fans like me that'll come out straight and say, yeah, BBC will sack. And then there's other fans out there that don't think it will happen. Here's the thing, right? This is the way I see it. If the ratings drop to a certain point, there is no way they can justify keeping her or Chris Chibnall, right? The problem is that they won't get rid of two of them. Only one of them will be scapegoated. And the one that will be scapegoated will be the lead. And the reason why it will be the lead is because she isn't popular with this fandom. And they know that. They know she isn't popular, so they'll use her as the scapegoat. Whether that's right or wrong is irrelevant to me. Two of them need to go, in my opinion, but it's not going to happen. So, I mean, I hope the decision made. I mean, if the ratings keep going down on the slide, we'll see. It'd be interesting to see. Look, this upcoming episode's been hyped to bits by BBC America, BBC, and the executive producer this week, right? So they've really hyped this. If this episode falls again, right? If the ratings fall again, well, it doesn't matter what they do, right? It's proved it, right? So they've destroyed Gallifrey. They've brought the Master back, right? They brought the Jadoon back, and then apparently there's supposed to be a surprise, right? After all that, if the ratings don't start taking an upturn, well, then BBC really need to actually. If I was actually working for the BBC, I would actually be saying to me, boss, listen, we need to actually take a look at this. Nobody is being convinced. It's still losing ratings.
I don't think they're going to throw her under the bus.
Why?
Well, because look, they're protecting her. She's the first, I know you may disagree with this, but I think...
I'll listen to you. That's what...
Well, I honestly think, look, as the first female doctor, you know how much hell they'd have to pay? They're already paying a lot of hell from the people they don't care about. But the people that they're trying to appease right now, you know how much hell they'd have to pay if they threw her under the bus, let alone candor? Oh, it would be scathing. So, yeah, no, I don't think they're going to, not only do I not think they're going to can her, I don't think they're going to throw under the bus, even if they did. I really don't. I just don't see it happening because she is the protected species. It's what's between her legs is what's keeping her alive right now. And I don't see that changing. I think to me, this is exactly why if there's And I did read the EW. There was an EW Entertainment Weekly article. I'm sure that you heard of this, but she did the interview saying, you know, she's not leaving. Of course, a lot of doctors have said that, but I do think there's in this case, there's good reason to believe she's probably telling the truth. And I say that just simply because she is female and she is the first female doctor.
Yeah, but do you not think from this point of view that the BBC could do it in a way where she actually comes out and says that she stepped down from the role herself?
Yeah, I don't see it.
A nice little bonus just to say, listen, and sign this document to say that we didn't sack you, but you left of your own accord, and here's a nice little bonus. Pop on you go. See you later.
I don't, you know why? I just don't look. The BBC obviously has an ideological agenda.
Yeah.
Okay. This is why they keep pressing their political agenda. This is why they keep pressing the agenda in general. They just keep shoving it down people's throats that don't want it. They keep, this is why they hired Chibnall. This is why they hired Jodie Whittaker, because they just cannot let go of the agenda. And all this talk of preparing people for her being, staying on a third season, I don't doubt that for a single minute. I was hoping it wouldn't be true. I was hoping beyond hope that maybe this would be the end of it.
I still hope.
I was hoping that with the ratings on decline, that there wouldn't be any talk of her staying at all, from her or from anyone else. This would just go away, because the ratings are just absolutely horrible. It's crisis. It's a crisis. They're in crisis mode right now. This is a tailspin. This is the death spiral. So I can't, if they're not willing to eject her after this, I don't doubt for a minute, if there's some rumblings and it's coming from her, there's pretty good reason to believe in it. I just don't want to, I don't want to have to swallow that pill. I don't think anyone does, but I really think she probably is going to go for another season. I mean, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I could genuinely see that happening now. I mean, I would not have thought that before, but after reading the EW article, it looks bad. It just doesn't look good. And I just don't see them saying, hey, we're just going to have to let you go. They seem hell bent on,
So
they don't.
What you're saying to me is then basically is no matter how low these ratings go, you believe that Jodie Whittaker is safe in her job until next year.
No. I don't think that's true. I think if it got to a certain point, and it would have to get pretty low, I do think there would come a point. It gets hard to defend. It gets hard to defend the decision to keep her at a certain point. You just can't do it. But I don't think they've reached that point yet.
Let's just hope it gets really low, so they have to do something.
That's the thing that baffles me, though, is how can they actually justify a third series with her in it? Even Chris Chibnall, even giving Chris Chibnall a third series. I mean, his career has been pretty divisive.
Yeah.
Like, not just for the fandom, but I mean, even the general public who would watch some of the Christmas stuff, because you'd see Christmas episodes would do pretty well. Like, so even the general public at some point were watching Doctor Who. Like, you could see it. Everybody was leaving by the droves. And I don't know, Jason, I hope, and I know you will hope you're wrong. I honestly do.
We all hope. Everyone hopes that doesn't happen. It's like, to your point though, it's absolutely mind-boggling.
It doesn't make sense.
No, it makes no sense. The only sense I can make of it is it does if you look at it through the lens of adhering to an ideological formula, adhering to an ideological agenda. That's the sense that it makes to me. If you look at it through that lens, that they have an agenda to push, and they're going to cram it down people's throats, whether they like it or not. Because at this point, who does the BBC answer to?
They answer to nobody. Well, they're supposed to answer to the taxpayers, but like, who listens to the taxpayers?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Well, the TV license holders, I should say. They're supposed to be accountable to the TV license holders of the UK. But BBC is like, they just have a mind of their own to do their own thing, and nobody's really interfered. Now, Boris Johnson, some people that are in the UK will tell you this. Boris Johnson is probably the biggest threat that BBC have had in decades, because he has threatened to actually change the organization, because he doesn't like the way the organization is being run. And the general public's feelings are actually the same on this. And he was actually, that was part of his mandate when he got in. It wasn't just the Brexit stuff. Like, he had a general package, and one of them was he was going to start doing something with the BBC, because, they've been criticised, the BBC, as I said, for their Christmas schedule, but especially for their news coverage, because they're not, as you know yourself, but it happens all around the world. News media is not supposed to take a side. You know what I mean? They're supposed to be impartial, but we see it in today's society. Well, it's always been, let's be honest, media has always been on the side that they think, is the way to go. They've never been biased anyway. They've never been impartial. But BBC have been criticised heavily because of their coverage of Trump election and also of the whole Brexit situation. So BBC are vulnerable right now. This is why I believe there's a chance we can get rid of Jodie Whittaker. I'd love to get Chris Chibnall out of there as well. I think, look, if I had a choice between the two, Jason, I think I said this a few weeks back. I don't know if I said it to you, but I said it to other members of this panel. I turn around and says, if I had a choice between the two, if I could get rid of one and keep one, I'd get rid of Chris Chibnall.
Oh,
because
yeah.
he's the name.
I know you say that, but if I have to look at her, I don't. I can take.
I agree with you. But think about it. If we got a better showrunner, someone that's better understanding the role, right? Okay, I know she's bad actress, right? But it's at least the stories would be better, right?
Yeah, but think about it for a minute, though. Think about it. How is she gonna come out and handle those scripts? She's still gonna be goofy and I mean, unless they tell her, unless someone, a good director comes in and says, "Look, you need to stop this goofy, goofball, harebrained nonsense. You just need to cut that out." Unless someone just, because she's really trying to swing this whole, I don't know if she's trying to channel David Tennant or who she's trying to channel, but it's not working. And I think that would translate. You would see that overlap into whoever becomes the new showrunner. In my opinion, she would try to carry that over into anybody that joins the team, and you're just polishing a turd.
Yeah, I mean,
they're both horrible. Let's be honest.
They're both horrible. But let me tell you, if I had to pick, though,
you have to ask yourselves, and that's the question to ask, Jason: who is worse, though? Is it Jodie Whittaker or is it Chris Chibnall? Because this is, I think, the choice that. Well, I think it won't be a choice that we leave and have an opportunity to have. Don't get me wrong, ideal scenario, two of them gone.
Right.
All of them gone.
But
right?
think of it this way, all right? Look, consider this. If I had to watch, now which would you prefer to see?
Right.
Would you prefer to see Tesla's Night of Terror with goofball nitwit
right
coming down the street, or Peter Capaldi saying those lines? Because Peter Capaldi, or even a guy, I mean, even David Tennant, which, look, I'm going to be honest, I'm not the biggest David Tennant or Matt Smith fan. I mean, I'm just not. I'll get it out there. But if I had to choose, of course, David Tennant is just miles above anything that Jodie Whittaker. Acting ability is just no contest, right? So if I had to choose between watching a guy like David Tennant or Peter Capaldi say those lines, even in the worst episode, even episode 3, I would so much rather see a guy like Peter Capaldi at the helm saying those dumb lines, those stupid lines. At least he would make it somewhat tolerable. I mean, I wouldn't like it, but if I have to watch her, trying to channel, like I said, this was my point. This is why I said, if you can take the best writers, you can take the best producers, you can do all that, you can assemble the best that money can buy, put them all in a room, crumb up with a masterpiece, and inject Jodie Whittaker into it, it'll sink like the Titanic. It's just, it doesn't make it any better. And that's what I firmly believe. It just won't make it any better. You can't counterbalance her as a horrible actress with good writing, good production, you name it, across the board. You just can't. She's just that bad. You just can't save her and that's my opinion.
No, I agree with you. She is a poor actress. I as I said, ideally I'd love the two of them to go, but for me right now, I'm looking at her from. I'll probably put me Whovian brain on, and I see where Chris Chibnall is going with this.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, he's the bigger danger right now. Yes, she's awful, and yes, she would bring down any story, but the point is the storytelling would be better. They wouldn't be doing what Chris Chibnall is doing. And right now, as I said, he is the biggest threat to Doctor Who canon. He is either totally ignoring everything that came before, or he just doesn't really give a crap. Either way, it's not good. And I don't know what the rest is in the panel actually think, but for me, Chibnall's the bigger. I know I get all your points, Jason, and I agree with you 100%. But for me, I'm putting the Whovian cap on here. He's the one that's doing the most damage with what you could see what he's doing with the stories. I mean, for God's sake, RTD didn't bring back Gallifrey. Moffat, with his whole era, basically tried to bring Gallifrey back, right? And he finally brought it back, right? And then that idiot just goes and destroys it in the very first episode of his second series because he's trying to prove what? That he's this genius writer or something, or he's planning something really horrible.
Here's the thing. Okay, so he is quote unquote retconned it, right? Okay, he's done that. Why couldn't a subsequent writer do the same thing and reverse everything that he's done?
True, and a future writer could do that, but we're in the moment now. You know what I mean? Like, we're fans of the show.
But I guess my point is, it doesn't have to be permanent damage on his part. There's ways to write out everything that you think is so horrific.
I agree with you to a certain extent, but a lot of fans see it's left a lot of sour taste in fans' mouths, and fans just won't come. Look at. There's a certain part of this fandom that will never return. Even when New Who came onto the screens, some fans decided, no, there's some purists out there that actually even believe everybody that came after William Hartnell is not the Doctor, right? There's some pure, that's how pure some of them are out there, right? These fans are there's those fans, and then you've got the fans that are classic fans that have never watched New Who for starters, right? So Doctor Who, RTD was clever because he knew this, right? He knew he'd be able to get certain fans in, but he wouldn't get them all in, right? But his era was very clever because he was able to introduce new fans. You didn't need to go and watch Classic Who in his era, to be honest with you, to actually understand this character of the Doctor, because RTD did it well. Chris Chibnall has kind of tried to do that same trick again to reinvent the show a second time, or maybe a third time, because RTD's era was definitely different to Moffat's era. Now Chibnall's is definitely different to Anton that came before, but he's tried another slight reboot as such, and that's what I think this whole era actually is. I think it's like a kind of a Kelvin timeline like we had in Star Trek. I don't even think this is, and maybe he is trolling us, but I actually don't think this is canon. I don't actually think this is part of,
I was starting to think the same thing the other day.
Because there's certain things, I don't know if you've noticed, Blue Banner, but there's certain things happening in this era that are just making me think I think this might be a parallel, either a parallel or
because there was one scene, and you asked me, my husband asked me, he's like, can they speak to like they're like talking to each other, like using telepathy, the Master and the Doctor? Have they ever been able to do that? I don't remember that. Things like that. Weird.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. He's just throwing things in there that, new things that have never been shown before.
Well, look, here's the thing though. You can always just ignore the crap that Chibnall's done in the past if you get a new showrunner. You can just ignore it. Just act like it didn't happen.
True.
Just go on and pretend that it just didn't happen. And then you write good stories. You adhere to the original canon, like you should, or whatever the fans are believed to be original canon. And then you just go with an actor who will do the part justice. But in the meantime, in my opinion, if the show's unwatchable, I understand. Look, I understand perfectly well your point, which is Chibnall is doing serious damage by changing canon, by altering canon that shouldn't be altered. He's making these changes, and it's damaging to the formula. And I get that. I understand that. I can say again. You there?
Wow.
You okay?
I don't know what's happened there.
Yeah, it went out for a minute.
Can you hear everything? Can you hear me?
There I am. I'm
okay.
back.
Yeah.
Can you hear us?
I don't know what happened there. I just cut out. Jason was in the middle of making these points.
It's the BBC. They're doing their witchcraft again.
Yeah. Well,
leave
it out, BBC. I'm actually trying to save your show, not actually destroy it. If you listen to the fans, maybe you would actually still have a show. You're only going to have a show out. Look at bottom line is this, right? This era, in my opinion, has mortally wounded Doctor Who. I get your point. Fans can ignore this, but there's a lot of fans that won't forget this because it's left a bad taste in a lot of fans' mouths. Just so much has gone on that this will take a long time to get over this. I'm being honest. And this, we'd like to all forget it, but it won't be forgotten because it's so bad that we're going to be reminded of it. It's always going to be there. I would love it to be in a corner there. This is why I'm hoping this is an alternative universe, because then I can say, right, it's not canon. Then I can actually say, right, it's an alternative universe, it's not canon. And then Doctor Who's protected, in my opinion. But if this is what he's doing, he's been trolling the fans basically for two years. And that's not, and I'm sorry, if this is his way of being clever and being smart and saying, ha ha ha, I tricked you all. Well, I'm sorry, look what you've done to the fandom. Look what you've done to the show. Look at all the damage you've caused just to what? To make yourself out to be this smart, incredible writer. Is your ego that big that you had to go? See, this is the problem I have. It doesn't matter what he does now, the damage is done, and there is a lot of fans, and trust me, those fans walking away this serious are not coming back. Some of them won't come back because they watched Series 11. Some decided to come back for Series 12, and that's what you're saying. Those that watch Series 11 that decided to watch Series 12 are dropping off now. They're all dropping off, and we're going to be left, on being on a serious end, we're going to be left with about 3 million people watching, and that'll be probably about right.
I guess what I'm thinking is, look, why did these fans even come back for a second helping for season 12? Honestly, after seeing Jodie Whittaker, knowing that she's a garbage actress, why would you come back for more? Now, my thing here's my belief. When they see the changing of the guard and the reviews come in and it's good, and if it was good, let's say it was genuinely good, and that a trustworthy sources were saying, hey, this is the real deal. We're on to something big. You can bet your bottom dollar. I know, look, you would show up. You would watch it. If you would watch it, there's a lot of people like you.
Yeah, you have a point. I have to say, yeah. I wasn't even going to watch this year.
To give it
I wasn't even supposed to watch last year either, and I don't know why I'm watching them put myself through this. Sorry, Bad Wolf, go ahead, because you haven't. We've been talking a lot there. Sorry.
Yeah, I've been letting you just talk and talk. I mean, I didn't want to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, maybe people just wanted to give it a second chance to see if there were any improvements. There were slightly, but not by much. It's still off-putting with the agenda pushing, and episode 3 with humanity is bad cliche. Ugh. I mean, if we were that bad, the planet would be nuked by now.
I know.
But yeah, My phone battery is getting low, so I can't stay on long now.
No problem. So we're going to be
Right.
ending the stream soon anyway, because we're near the 3-hour mark. So we've got about 10 minutes or so. So
Okay.
we'll be fine.
Yeah.
You'll all come back if it gets better. Trust me. You'll all come back. It's
I'm not look, Jason. I'm not saying I won't come back. Right? I'll never abandon this show. It's like me football club now. Manchester United's gone through a shit time. It's been the worst it's ever been for 40 odd years. I haven't turned me back on the club either. I won't turn me back on Doctor Who. But all I ask for, and I don't think I'm asking for much, all I'm asking for is to be entertained, to have decent characters, a decent story arc, and something that actually scares, excites me, and actually, that makes me come onto YouTube and actually praise. I don't want to be bashing Doctor Who every week. I bloody hate it. It depresses me. But the show is depressing me. And it should be better than what it is. And it's not. And it's a shame, because this show, and we all agree, this show has huge potential. And it's just such a shame that BBC have never truly respected the brand.
They never have. Even back in the classic days.
I know. They never have. And that's what annoys me.
Look, here's the thing. Go to bed for a couple of years. Just go to sleep for a couple of years and just write this whole era off, because you're not as long as she and Chibnall are at the helm, you can forget it. It's not going to get better. If it does get better, it's going to be a game of millimeters.
Yeah.
Okay? It's going to be a game of centimeters, not inches, not kilometers, millimeters. Okay. It's going to be minuscule. So, but everybody should have realized that by now. It's not going to get better. There's no getting better. Not with them. Have you watched the interviews? Watch a couple of episodes of the new season. If you honestly think at the rate they're going, it would take 20, 30, 50 years to make any kind of even remotely significant improvement.
Not even that.
No, and maybe not even that. People are holding out hope pointlessly. It's not going to get better with this team. It's just not. Forget it. So go away, take a couple of sleeping pills that'll put you out for a couple of years, and come back when this team is over, and stop holding out hope that it's going to improve. It won't. It's not going to get better. You need to just throw that dream down the toilet and flush it like the bad idea that it is, because it won't. But I'm not ready to throw in the towel and say, well, it's over. That the show is over, that there is no hope, period. If they get the right people, if they get the right, just do the right thing. If they do the right thing, there's a chance. But they just got to do the right thing. I mean, So that's all I'm saying is, people should know that this it's hopeless right now. As long as these guys are in charge, it's hopeless.
Yeah. Crystal, good night. Crystal is leaving us, so
okay. Good night, Crystal.
And Escape Route was saying you're being censored. You're not being censored by anybody on here, mate.
Yeah.
I think Chris has actually told you that, but yeah, no, Chris doesn't censor any comments unless there's any bad language in them. So maybe I should actually say that at the start of the stream. If you're actually writing a comment, please leave out the bad language, because YouTube is actually coming down hard on YouTubers for that. So actually the weird thing is they don't mind you actually having an F or a B on the camera, but they have a problem with the chat for some weird reason. So just keep the comments clean, and your comment won't be censored. But nobody's comment gets censored unless they're being nasty to someone, and as I said, the bad language. So, and nobody's like that in this chat anyway, because we don't tolerate it. Get rid of Jodie, says Marty Smith. I wish we could, and Chris Chibnall,
Yep.
and the whole era. But unfortunately, Jason does have a point. We're not going to get. This era is here, and it's not going anywhere, and it'll always be there. We can choose to ignore Jason is right. I just think it's done so much damage that I think this is going to last in the memory of Doctor. See, this is worse than the movie, right? The movie, fans didn't like some elements of the movie. But when it comes to this whole era, he's tapping into stuff that Doctor Who fans or Whovians don't want them to be tapping into. There's certain things you should leave alone. And the regeneration cycle is one of those things that I think you should leave well alone and leave the Time Lord lore as it is. You don't need to be fiddling around with that and messing around with that to prove that you're some genius writer. And this is why I have a problem with him. And this is why I think he is the biggest problem, because he's meddling in things that he has no business in meddling in. You should just leave it. It's Moffat wouldn't do it. And RTD, okay, he didn't bring back Gallifrey, but he didn't mess with the Time Lords. And there's a reason why they don't mess with the Time Lords, right? Because you start messing with them, you open up a whole can of worms, and then you have to explain all sorts of stuff. So this is what he's doing, and he's gone one step further. He's going to decanonize the male regenerations. For what reason? We do know the reasons. It's the society we're living in today, and I just don't get it. Listen, are women really that bad? Are you really that bad that you need everything? Can we not have something? No, can we not have something that entertains us? So we not allow that, and that keeps us happy? Do we have to be miserable all the time? Is that what they're trying to do in the entertainment industry? Right, we get it on programs. We get it when we're out there in the streets, and then when we come home to be entertained, then we're told that everything is bad and the women are oppressed and all this, and all this crap. Like the world's going to end. There's going to be a World War III. Get away! I just want to be entertained, man. I watch the news for that crap. I watch shows on the environment about that crap. Doctor Who is me escape. It's not, it should be anymore. That's what I mean. It should, and that's what's great about Entertainment Blue Bonnet. It gives you that escape from from real life, from the real world.
Yep.
And now what does it do?
But he wants to promote that women are better than men. That's the bottom line. He just wants to. It's not equality that he's promoting. He's doing the opposite.
But here's the thing. Even if that's the case, I don't care. Fair enough, fair play to them. Here's a medal, clap hands, brilliant. What are you trying to prove? Women are great, men are great, children are great, aliens are great. We don't care.
Right, we just want to be entertained and enjoy a good story and forget our problems. And
exactly,
it's not that anymore. It's drudgery. I literally start feeling like my chest is hurting when I get ready to watch the show, and it's sad.
It's like you're watching the TV, right, and you're feeling bad already, and then you're watching Doctor Who, and then you're made feel even worse about yourself as a human being.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Like a guilt trip.
Yeah, it's like one big bloody guilt trip. This whole era. It's like last year the whole theme was white man bad, single fathers bad, right? This theme it's a bit. There's different topics, but it's climate change. Then you've got the toxic mothers and. Now you've got what was it? The other one, the bloody useless father with the kid, with the smart kid. Like,
and capitalism is bad, and
capitalism
trying
is
to
partners are bad.
Yeah,
all this crap. That line.
It's like they hate humanity.
Actually flew over my head at the time. I actually totally missed that until I actually someone reminded me, and I said, "Oh yeah, Jesus, they did say that. Go home, you foreigner," or something like that. And
he said like something like "Go home to Mars," which is a stupid line to begin with. Go home to Mars or something like that. It was so stupid. It was the whole immigration thing they had to bring up. It's like, and you want to ignore it, like you don't want it, but it's so in your face.
American,
you
how
can't.
do you feel? As an American, how do you feel seeing on a British TV show the amount of anti-American sentiment in this series? Because
it pisses me off.
But Series 11 was the same as well.
Yeah, Rosa especially because it was the South, and the way that they portrayed all Southerners. And I talked to my mother about it, who grew up in that era, and she said not every Southerner was for that.
Exactly. And that's why if you do stories like that, it's important that you give a balanced view, or you give all points of view, all sides of the story an opportunity to have.
It's pure bias.
It's ridiculous. So I mean,
Do you know why? Do you know why they? You know why you get that? Why that's being crammed down your throat is entertainment. You just want to be entertained, but do you know why they're doing that? Because it's not. It's pretty simple. You want to be entertained. You come home. You've been watching the news. You want to get away from that crap.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So they know that. They know that entertainment draws a big crowd.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
So what better way to get their agenda in front of people?
Exactly.
And push the message than to put it in a TV show where everyone's going to be watching to be entertained and just dress it up with a bunch of special effects and kind of conceal it and make the message a little more subtle.
Yeah.
That way you kind of get a dose of, hopefully you're entertained at the same time you're being preached to.
Yeah.
So
no, you're right. You're spot on. You're spot on. And even advertisers have been doing the same things. Subliminal messaging. They've been doing it for years. It's an opportunity. They're taking advantage of the opportunity and really misusing their position for a greater message. You know, and it's just using it as a platform. It's a podium. You know,
and a lot of people fall for it. But if you're smart, you see it.
It's just a way to push. It's another avenue to push propaganda. That's all. So they're going to take it. I mean, if they can get away with it, they're going to do it.
Right. Let me see. I got that Rotten Tomatoes screenshot because I couldn't find it, but I'm at that tracking it down again. So thanks to Escape Route and Chris, our moderator, for getting that screenshot to me, because people don't actually, because I took a screenshot of it originally. People didn't believe me that I actually said that Doctor Who and Rotten Tomatoes was at 0% at one stage. So I will put it up on my YouTube community post later on, and I will be available on Twitter and my Facebook group for you to have a look at that.
When you took that screenshot, by the way, I'm just curious, how many reviews did you see?
It was 400. The user rating was 400, and if I'm correct, it was 492 or something to that effect. It was in the 400s. It was 492, and there's 492 for a while. It was. That was the weird thing. The user reviews still at 492, but the rating was at 0%. And then we checked it then a few hours later then, and that's when people exposed them then, because they changed the rating changed a couple of times over the night, and then people that were actually putting up reviews were actually reporting that the reviews were being either removed or not even posted up. So they've been exposed. They've Rotten Tomatoes. But here's the thing: forget about the audience score. I say to people, just look at the critic rating for the series, right? It's got, actually, I'll get it up real quick before we finish. Actually, up. Where's the Rotten Tomatoes? We'll have a look at it now. Rotten Tomatoes season. They call it season 12. It's serious. For New Who, it's serious. For Old Who, it's season. I get confused. Sometimes I do say it.
We call everything season over here.
So, here we go. The critics score is still at 80%. And the critic rating is 76. So, 76 now. So, there was 52. So, there's another 26 critics that are reporting on the show. And then the user ratings on the audience scores 894 now, and the audience scores are 14%. I will put that up on the screen there just to show you. Hold on, what am I doing? My hands are all over.
Still, Chibnall will never take criticism. That's his downfall.
He should listen to some.
He won't.
He said it's not a democracy, so he's acting like a total dictator.
But you know what? I saw a post the other day where Peter Capaldi said that if it wasn't for the fans, Doctor Who wouldn't exist.
Yeah.
So he needs to take that attitude.
But he won't take that attitude because he's just so far up his own. He's just got this ego, and he's never going to admit that he got it wrong, for starters. And he's just
No, he's not going to admit he thinks Jodie Whittaker is brilliant.
Yeah, he won't backtrack either. He just won't. He won't. He doesn't care about the fans. He's made that quite clear when he made those comments about it not being a democracy, you know. And then Jodie Whittaker following it up with, you know, we're not gonna please everybody. Yeah, you knew then. You knew then. They're not listening to anybody. They don't care. They don't care. I'm actually trying to find series and hold on. There's a
The way
Well,
they're listed is weird on there.
look at that score there though for that
yeah.
series. 73% and 93 from the critics. Like that's
For what series?
It
that
was.
was Matt Smith, the astronaut one. So that would have been.
Oh yeah, that was a good one though.
That was a good one. That was series 6, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The Impossible Astronaut.
The possible. Yeah, that was the River Song story arc, but the finishing up of the River.
Has there ever been an episode in the new era of Doctor Who that other than this series, 11 and 12, has there ever been an episode that dipped down into the teens for audience score?
No. The Orphan 55 is the lowest rated episode of all Doctor Who's history.
Should be all time, yeah, period.
Yeah, all time. It's the lowest. There you go. The highest rated TV show, 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, Doctor Who, The Power of the Daleks, and the Doctor Who 50th anniversary special, The Day of the Doctor. That's
will it tell you the lowest?
Actually, let's hear. Right, actually, hold on. Doctor Who lowest rating. Probably won't come up. No result for that.
Yeah, they wouldn't want to expose that.
Of course not. I mean, they don't want to show her.
There's things that have had the lowest ratings there. Not Doctor Who. So Doolittle is not at the doing too, but is at the doing poorly. The Robert Downey Jr. Rise of Skywalker 52%. Like a Boss is at 21. Is there any Doctor Who? No, it's just showing me all the movies, I think, here. Hold on. You used to be able to get up. Where's Series 11? I want Series 11's ratings. Because the critics score...
When you go to the search when you do the search thing, it's not actually under Series 11. They have it like, I think it's one of the very second to the last one. It's not listed as Series 11.
Oh, be listed as Series 20 something. Then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I noticed that the other day. I got frustrated trying to find that.
Right. So I'll be down here then. So it'll be Series 24 then, logically.
It makes no sense how they do it that way. But there it says, yeah,
oh,
there it is.
Right. So
that's a new year. Yeah. So I think it's the one right above it.
Yeah, but there's the interesting thing. Do you know the interesting thing? There's no user rating. So you mean to tell me no fans went in and actually
You know, I know that I did. I know I gave that a rating. I remember giving that a rating.
And look at, they give it a 95 and there was only 20 critics. But that's interesting, no audience score on that one. Right, so that was 24, so it must be 25 then. So this is ridiculous, actually, the way they've done this.
Oh, yeah, it's stupid.
But no
wonder they call it Rotten Tomatoes, because the way they handle it is rotten.
Well, they're rotten to the core now. They've been exposed for the little cheats that they are. BBC ought to be ashamed of themselves as well, actually, because they had to have gone to Rotten Tomatoes. Right, here we go.
That's season 12. So it must be series 23.
It has to be. It has to be here. 23. Come on.
They're listing it as season 11.
Yeah, but on here on the scroll down the other day, I noticed that.
It's right here.
There I have it.
Yeah. Okay.
Go. So the critics there gave it 90, and there was 40 critic reviews for that one. Right there it is there. And then the audience score, it had 7,864 reviews, and it's at 21%. Now that has not changed since it stopped. Do you remember when it kept going down? It was at 50 something at one stage, and we just seen it go down and down and down, and it hasn't went anywhere past 21%, which makes me believe that maybe Rotten Tomatoes froze that score.
Well, if you're going to freeze it, you ought to freeze it about 50-something%.
Right.
Freeze it at a higher,
No, but I think before they knew what was happening, Jason,
Yeah.
and then they realized,
but here's Rotten Tomatoes. We need to reset it. It's 21%. We need to reset it. So it may be legit. I don't know. It hasn't moved. You're right, but I would think if they're going to do something nefarious, either they're going to reset it or they're going to freeze it at a higher.
Maybe people aren't watching it anymore, interested in watching it. Maybe that's why.
I think they've probably moved on to series 12. Maybe at this point, could be one possible explanation. Maybe.
Just want to check something here. See, again, no score for this series. This is a serious one. It's series 7. 80% by the critics there, though, so the same as Jodie Whittaker's era right now. Let's see what number 2 is, just for the laugh. I'm not going to go through them all. I'm just having my curiosity is. Look at that though. Look at the audience score on that one. 91%. Wow.
People actually enjoyed it.
Wow. And the critics and the audience, though, that's how you can tell that they're kind of similar. I know the critics give it 100, but to have a 9% difference is
maybe that's when they weren't getting paid off by the BBC.
Yeah. Here, we'll just check the next one because I'm curious now. I actually think I did a video where I put all these, no score for that one. Oh, I think that was because that series was cut into 2. Wasn't it? That was the one that was cut into 2, wasn't it? Let's Kill Hitler business.
Oh,
see, these are all
10% now.
These are all the Impossible Astronaut ones, so I don't know what's going on here. Here, we'll just go 6. Let's have a look at this one.
Oh, no one.
Not enough ratings as calculated score. The Christmas special, The End of Time. Well, I didn't like The End of Time, to be quite honest with you. So, but yeah. But there you go. I mean, look, but the critics score, no matter what you say about the audience score, I do firmly believe that you can't fake the critics score, and the critics score is low. And we're only 4 episodes. We're on the 5th one this weekend. It's going to be interesting. Right, guys, we've gotten to the end of the stream, sadly. But before we go, and it's great now, Jason, because I can actually ask you to shout out your channel. But before you all go, of course, Bad Wolf, you'd like to let everybody know what you do on your channel, and please, if any of me moderators are still there, if you could throw them up one last time, the groups there or the channels, I really appreciate it. So Bad Wolf, just let everybody know what you do on your channel and all of that stuff and jazz. And by the way, Bad Wolf, before you start, Bad Wolf actually done the intro for the channel, and he's actually given us an outro, so we have a new outro. So don't leave straight away, guys, and listen to the outro. Go ahead, Bad Wolf.
Well, on my main channel, Bad Wolf 66, is where I do animations. I have another channel, Bad Wolf Gamer, which is for like memes, experimental videos, games. On my main channel, it's mostly animation based, sci-fi based. So I was just getting so bored with Doctor Who that I started to concentrate on my own universe, and it came out pretty well.
Yeah. Good man. And I've actually watched some of the Telebot Chronicles. They're actually not bad. I've said that loads of times on the channel. So if you haven't actually subscribed to his channel, please do. How many more are you away from? Because you are many are you away from 1K?
Let me see. I've got 100 and something subscribers. No, 800.
Oh.
863 subscribers.
Oh, I thought you had less. Well, let's try get them up to 900.
Yeah. I used to have 1K subs years ago until YouTube did a huge purge and deleted a lot of fake accounts. And then it went down.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about now when they actually do that, because a lot of people just set up a channel to subscribe to me, which is unfair. YouTube shouldn't be doing that. I can understand them going after troll accounts, but they should try and identify these troll accounts a bit bit better than, I mean, the technology that they have, you think they couldn't actually get these people. You don't have to punish everybody. Anything else? Do you want to plug your Twitter account?
Yeah. My Twitter is badwolf66, but it's spelled in a weird way. I'd have to do it in the chat. Hold on.
Right, so he's going to put that in the chat anyway for you guys. Jason, go ahead, man. Let everybody know what if you have anything upcoming. Have you any upcoming projects actually coming up on the channel?
Oh, there's always stuff that's going to be upcoming. Nothing concrete at this point, but the gist of the channel is just the tagline really is reviews, commentary, and live chat. And it's the parameters, the range is a lot of it's sci-fi based. Some of it could be paranormal. It depends. Stuff like everything from UFOs to Area 51, maybe the odd Doctor Who review, some commentary on just things that I think are really interesting questions of the day that I think are, maybe topics that we've discussed that I think are worth exploring a little bit deeper and getting just my take on it personally. And a lot of it's centered around that. So I think if you're interested in kind of delving into maybe some of the topics that we've discussed related to Doctor Who or maybe some other things, I tend to cover those pretty deep.
Cool. If you ever do a UFO stream, I'm your man.
Good.
I'll come on. I love talking.
We're thinking about doing that on my channel, but I don't know this weekend, but maybe next weekend for sure.
Because, I'm mad for the UFOs. I have a head wrecked with new conspiracy theories and everything, and video footage of UFOs and stuff.
Yeah, we need to do that. We need to get together on that.
Nice one. Yeah, I'll definitely do that. Again, we tried that on this channel and it was actually successful, but obviously I'm concentrating more on Doctor Who. But obviously when Doctor Who finishes, then I will obviously have to branch out into other stuff to keep the channel relevant. But I've managed to do well so far, in fairness now, because for a whole year the channel was doing well while other channels were dead. Actually, if you notice, Blue Bonnet, I've noticed that our channels have all done well and all the Jodie Bots channels have just all stagnated. It's actually
right, because because all they have to say is praise for her and there's no critical thinking.
I know, but it's funny it is, and then they still don't come to the realization, well, the reason why he's aren't popular is because Jodie Whittaker isn't popular, this era isn't popular.
Right.
Yeah. It's gas. Right, go. Have you anything? I know you're very busy on your channel. What have you got going this week?
We'll probably do a live stream this weekend. I'm not sure on what. I may not if I don't have a topic. I like kind of having a topic, but no, I'm just doing streaming reviews. I did a review of Dracula. I just do all kinds of things. I review merchandise, Funko Pops, Doctor Who merchandise I don't need to buy, that type of thing. That's pretty much.
Well, we are though. The stream we're going to have tomorrow is probably going to have some UFO content.
Maybe, are we doing that tomorrow? Okay.
Maybe a little bit on Skinwalker Ranch.
Okay.
Some of this kind of thing. Some very interesting.
Nice one. I'll be listening. I'll be definitely listening.
So we're doing okay. So that's fine. We'll do that tomorrow then.
Well, you're welcome to come on, Noel. I mean,
no problem, man. Sure. Listen. We'll see what you're talking about first, because you're probably talking about stuff in America. So I'll listen to what you have to say. If you want to bring me on, I could talk about stuff that's happened in Ireland, like UFO stuff, activity that's happened in Ireland. I will come on and do that, no problem. But it's definitely something I'm interested in. Listen, in reality, I would love this channel to be Doctor Who and UFO stuff, but it's kind of and conspiracy theories, but you know yourself, some people frown upon that stuff. But I don't.
Well, yeah, you can't get too conspiratorial, but yeah.
But the thing about it is, I used to care about what people think. I actually don't care anymore, and I'm actually good at that. I'm actually glad I'm at that place now where I actually don't care what people think of me or say about me anymore. So maybe my channel will definitely have to evolve to survive, because I'm not going to survive if I keep doing Doctor Who. But,
yeah, that is true.
Come on, Jason, I'd love that, man. I don't know. Maybe we probably have a lot of things in common. Actually, I'm big fascination with the Titanic, Egypt, stuff like that. And I love all the conspiracy theories on the Titanic, but that ship on the bottom of the ocean is definitely the Titanic. But I do like the conspiracy theories on it. But yeah, we had a UFO sighting here only a couple of months back. What you call it, and the same UFO was spotted over Scotland as well. There's actually video footage, so I'll actually get that video footage up, and I'll actually talk about that, because there was a bit of a cover up. A couple of places were closed off and everything. It was actually it was the first time that I actually got excited in this country, because when it comes to UFOs, right, I have to be honest, right, when I watch out on UFOs, it always happens in Brazil or Mexico or America, right? But you never really see many from Ireland. So when something like that happens in Ireland, it's like it even makes the news. So it was actually a bit of excitement that we had here, because I do firmly believe, personally speaking, that we're not alone in this universe. It's actually logic dictates, and even if NASA is coming out and saying that there's more planets like Earth out there, well, if that's the case, then logic would dictate that there's other life out there.
Well, I think these are excellent topics, and no matter where you're from on this planet, I think that there's a lot to discuss that we can all kind of relate to, and a lot of questions that we could delve into that it's not even relevant, such as, what do we believe these entities, if they are out there, would want? What could be a purpose? What exactly are we dealing with? These kinds of questions are very interesting and worth exploring, and it's not so much a geographic based orientation to the questions. You could definitely explore those in a way that people from all regions could probably relate to and find interesting.
Yeah. I think Doomcock and Gary actually do the Exozone. That's on aliens and UFO sightings and stuff. So they even branch out. So they see that there's actually, that people are interested in that, and they do get a lot of people watching. So there is interest for that sort of stuff. I think people want to be informed and want to actually learn new things. It's actually amazing the things that you can actually find on the net if you look deep enough, especially when it comes to all the UFO stuff. I mean, some of the stuff that you do here just be pretty scary, especially when it's got government involvement and stuff like that. But there's so many things. It's like it's a Pandora's box, as they say.
We can definitely explore some of those things, no doubt.
Not a bother. Right, Blue Bonnet, Jason, Bad Wolf 66. Obviously, Jason and Bad Wolf, I will see you along with the Rabbi from Another Planet on Sunday. I know, like you, we're not really looking forward to the episode, but you know what? we will soldier on. If people out there fought 2 world wars,
this is nothing.
This is nothing. We could certainly sit down and watch this piece of turd unfold. And Bad Wolf, thanks again for coming on a second time. I know you didn't really say that more. I know you're the quiet type, but listen, thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it. And we'll bring you on again, because as I said, the more you come on, the more chatty you will get.
You will, yeah.
And thanks for the intro, and obviously the new outro. I appreciate everything that you've done for the channel.
It was really great. It was great meeting you, Bad Wolf. We haven't been on a panel together, but it was great. Great, being in your company here.
Right, guys.
All right.
I'll just go, and I'll talk to you on Sunday. Bad Wolf again. Thanks very much. I really appreciate it.
All right. Night, everybody.
Good night.
Welcome.
Good night.
Bye.
Now, there we go. We are finished, so we are back on Sunday for the review of The Fugitive of the Jadoon. Oh boy, I actually got this. I said it properly. Yay! Yeah. So we'll be back for that. We will have the panel, as I said. We will have Rabbi from Another Universe, Blue Bonnet Julian, Jason, and we'll see if we can get another guest on as we do. There's a couple of people I have asked. We'll see if we can get an extra guest on to join us for the panel. If not, the panel is very popular anyway. So I look forward to seeing you all. So I'm going to leave you with this new outro, courtesy of Bad Wolf 66. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and all that. And I'll talk to you. Enjoy your weekend. Thanks for joining me and my panel. Thank you to me moderators in the chat for keeping an eye on the chat. As I said, all their channels, Dan, who was on earlier, Blue Bonnet, Jason, and Bad Wolf's channel are all up on the live chat. So subscribe to their channels, guys. I will see you all on Sunday. Have a good one.
You have all been watching the official Tardis Zone. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next time. Do not forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe for more Doctor Who content.